Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah.
We in some spicy stuff going on today.
Hey, looks like we got a gangsta mayor.
Listen, hey,
I love this story.
I love it.
Okay, Browns fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to that in just a second. Hot off the presses. All right, lot to get to today, a whole lot to get to today. We're going to do Bulls Bet. First, quickly, a rundown. We're going to preview Cavs-Knicks Game 3. My buddy from ESPN, Tim Legler, is going to come on, full of opinion on not just the Cavs series, but all the NBA series. Guardians open with the Marlins tonight at Progressive. And is there even a list of 5 things that Tyvis can't do?
Nope.
I don't know, but I'm going to try.
I don't know why you wasted your time.
McNuggets is out. Ant is in again. Ant, did you get, after 2, did it really become difficult?
2?
Look, I'm going to be honest, Jay. I thought of this at 2 in the morning. I was like, you know what? I bet Tyvis can't do something. So I'm going to figure out what he can't do.
I'm very interested to see the list because I will be fair about it today.
I will tell you this. You'll never find 5 things that he'll agree upon that he can't do.
Well, that's true. That's absolutely true. But I don't think it's 5 things I can't.
Is one of them he cannot touch my cutter? Is that one of the 5?
No, because I tried to think of stuff
Thanks, bro.
I think I could do, but I don't know necessarily if Tyvis could do.
All right.
And 1 and 4, I don't know if I could do, but everything else I know I can do.
So that's coming up. Bulls Bet.
Bulls Bet, yeah, today brought to you by BetRivers. Hey, Ohio, BetRivers Online Sportbook is the place to be for every single game. Now is the perfect time to join BetRivers Sportbook when you use deposit code SPORTS. You'll receive a second chance bet up to $500. Get in on all the action with weekly specials on your favorite sports like basketball and hockey to help you win big. Check out BetRivers.com or download the BetRivers app today for the latest lines, odds, and boosts. And Bull went today with Rangers minus 1.5 against the A's and the Angels minus 1.5 versus the Royals.
What's his record now?
So Mike usually keeps track of it, and I didn't realize I had to keep track of it while he was in Dallas. So that's my bad.
We'll figure
I know
it out.
he went 1-0 yesterday, so tack that on to whatever was on
He
Tuesday.
was 10-5, I think he said on Wednesday.
He's somewhere in the 9 range, I think, of wins for baseball right now, give or take.
Yeah, because he's doing it kind of.
4 losses,
So
5
we're keeping a full scoreboard, and then he says that he could definitely win money betting baseball.
Okay, so we got a scoreboard.
So far, right now,
I
it looks
swear
like
he said he was 10-5 in baseball.
10-5 sound. I think at one point he was just barely over 500 collectively.
Yeah, he was.
I think he was hovering maybe at or above 500 on the baseball picks. By the way, McNuggets is betting every single game this year. He's making 162 $10 bets with the run line that the A's will lose. Some of the experts say they could lose 110 games. Now, an interesting development as we track that bet, the team is completely unplugged now, as the big story yesterday. The owners of the Oakland A's bought a huge parcel of land not far from the Vegas Strip. Yeah. And obviously the speculation is they're going to break ground on a new retractable roof stadium. About 30,000 people it will hold.
That sounds nice.
Right there in Las Vegas. So
I feel bad for Oakland.
You know what it is? It's the movie Major League come to life.
They losing.
They're losing on purpose in order to move the team. And McNuggets might be onto something because they might lose 120 games. Because what's the incentive? The fans are going to stop coming.
Yeah.
They're
not that they were before.
Gotta do it for the diehards, man. The 20 people that's in the stands every game, no matter what.
One of their promotions is you get to sit in the dugout for some of the fans.
Man,
which is
I saw some pictures.
I'm kidding.
I was about to say that's desperate.
But they got
I just got word from Director Steve that his brother is a huge A's fan and he is officially done with the team.
Yeah, I mean, why would you?
Well, I mean, because they moving.
Look what happened here in Cleveland. Now, it was a little different because the fan base here was so rabid.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were a horrendous team at the time of the move. So, but the fan apathy in Oakland is going to be off the chart.
They just lost the Raiders.
Do they even have enough? I don't know if they got the infrastructure, the appetite, the funding to even get a stadium in Oakland.
It's a good point because they've been trying to get one for the better part of 20 years. That stadium, I don't know if you guys remember this. A couple of years ago, there was a big story. Sewage was coming back up through the bathrooms at the stadium.
I wonder what the players feel about moving to Vegas. You think they forward?
Well, let me ask you this: would you rather live in Oakland or would you rather live in Las Vegas?
Vegas.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to have to twist anybody's arm.
And let me ask you a question. I mean, you've been in a lot of places. You play for a lot of teams. As long as that check keep coming,
that's it.
Look,
you don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, we're good.
One positive: they don't have to pay California state taxes anymore.
It's crazy.
That would be very nice.
That's a big positive.
Y'all seen my San Francisco check? I would show it to y'all, but that's classified information.
You swallowed when you saw how much the state of California took out.
I tell you what it was. So before taxes, I had $37,000. After taxes took 20,000 of it, and I went home with 15 grand. So
you were in like a 60% tax bracket.
Yeah.
Because you were in California.
Yeah, because I was in Santa Clara.
And so you can understand why now guys from Jacksonville and Houston and Dallas and Tampa and Miami.
That's why they all want to go.
That's where they want to go.
No
they have an actual geographic advantage because they don't have to pay that state income tax.
Listen, they hit you with 20,000+.
I thought I got fined. That's how bad it was.
20 racks.
I literally walked upstairs and said, "Can I talk to somebody? Did I get fined?" And they was like, "No, that's just taxes." I said, "You gotta be." That's why when people be like, "I want to leave San Fran," I'm like, "I don't really blame you."
Well, that's why there's a mass exodus from the state. In part, it's one of the reasons. I mean, the tax, they tax you to death.
Yeah. Brown store.
Let's do this. Speaking of football teams and stadiums. And you got to read this because this is kind of breaking news. Because I think everybody's under the idea that there's going to be a stadium renovation here. I think Jimmy Haslam was under the idea that the state or the city was going to help with some funds to do that. Breaking news.
Yeah, so guys, we're going to get right into our Browns talk here. And whenever we talk Browns, it's brought to you by Lincoln Electric. Lincoln Electric is now hiring for great jobs in the welding field. Go check them out. We love Lincoln Electric around here. And Steve, you want to take tagboard full here. Mayor Bibb is quoted was saying, "I'm no longer going to risk general revenue fund dollars for maintenance on a privately owned football franchise." And if you go into the article here that Daryl posted, you'll see more about how he's more focused on renovating the lakefront more than renovating anything with the Browns and the team.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys know that it's I guess it's a meme. It's an animated meme where somebody says something and then it pauses and then a pair of sunglasses come on and a do-rag comes out and a cig goes in his mouth and they play I think it's Snoop or Dre little beat. Mayor Bibb is gangster for doing this.
I'm not, this is a sports show and I understand that, we want the best for the Browns and stuff like that. And I would like a new stadium, but I mean, Mayor Bibb, right, man, I'd rather see the city cleaned up and have a better lakefront than I think the Brown Stadium is cool as it is right now. And if you got a guy who's investing in Milwaukee,
I think that might have had something to do with it.
Yeah, he got the money.
I said at the time, now who's going to come and ask the city of Cleveland and our taxpayers for money to help build his house so he can remain a billionaire?
That's arrogance, bro. That's the arrogance at the highest level. When we looked at it, and they asked him about this, I think at the owners' meetings, he said, "No, does your investment in the Milwaukee Bucks in any way, shape, or form prohibit you from continuing to contribute funds or to make sure that the Cleveland Browns have the most available funds to them to win at the highest level?" He says, "No, that's not going to happen. That's not a thing." Then it comes out when we heard the number, we're like, "Whoa, that's a lot of money." It was upwards of $400 million.
Yes.
He said, "It wasn't really that bad." Our problem was this. We looked at it and said, "Okay, well, I could have just swore we was talking about all these renovations that we had, Jay. I thought we was."
Yep.
And I'll give you an example of this and how it works. If you are an individual and you are trying to get a house or you're trying to get a car or you're trying to make renovations, you can't fight a war on two fronts. That's military 101. You cannot fight a war on two fronts. Now you telling me you trying to get a house, but then you want to renovate the backyard, but then you want to attach a room, and then you want to go get a new car. Nah, bro.
Well, you can do that as long as you got the checkbook for it.
If you got it.
But here's the thing.
But I can't go to my boy and ask to borrow no money.
No. and essentially, it's not even asking to borrow money. He's asking to just
get the
a
money.
handout.
Go fund me.
So here's the problem with this, and it can go a lot of different ways. And I'm just speculating, and I'm really, because we just heard of this report moments ago. I'm kind of just spitballing out loud. I've been told that all along the Haslams are in love with the idea of independence and building a facility there similar to what the Rams and the Chargers have in LA. So a huge kind of megaplex deal where it's a stadium, but there's all kinds of entertainment options around it. Now, remember, that's where Topgolf is, which draws a huge number of fans. Now, to do this, you need many, many acres. I'm told that they believe there's a plot of land that they could buy and use. Then all of a sudden, we heard all these conflicting reports from the neo-trans blogger. And at the time, I was wondering, is this guy being used for Haslam to get his message out, or is this
everybody refuted it?
Everybody refuted it. But you know what? Initially, the report was that he wanted a dome stadium. And then the word came that the Haslams commissioned an architectural firm to do an analysis on the stadium. How much would it cost to put a dome on it? And basically, the report said this stadium was built quickly, cheaply, and poorly. And there's really no chance that you're going to just throw a lid on it and it's going to be safe. So that got us down the road of, well, might he move to another spot? Then we heard from Neotrans again, the blog, that they were looking at alternate plots of land. One of them, the land we're sitting on right now, where Channel 3 studios are located, downtown Cleveland, not far from the stadium on Lakeside. We also heard that Independence was a big option. Then all of a sudden, forget all of that. Haslam came out, and there was word that said, no, we're thinking about just staying where we are and renovating. I'm guessing that precipitated Mayor Bibb to come forward and say,
"No, that's all.
You can pay for it, but I'm not," because I mean that's what he's saying in this article. I'm done using Cleveland funds to help a billionaire put a new stadium on that plot of land that, by the way, will only increase his value. He's going to get that money out upon sale of the team. Well, I mean, that's what's happening.
As a mayor, your job is to look out for the best interests of the city,
right,
and make the city more appealing. You know, it's violent stuff going on. You're trying to stop the violence. You're trying to make downtown a peaceful place for people to come to. I remember he sat in here. He was talking about that lakefront, trying to get houses and stuff up there and get companies to be on that lakefront. If you do this, obviously you just scrapping his whole plan of what he wanted to do to make Cleveland a more appealing city and more of a place that people want to be. But I mean, like I said, the stadium is nice, but you definitely, if you're the owner, you got to pay for that yourself.
Boy,
you can't keep
I
asking
think so.
them
I think so.
You know what he also saw? The timing on this is very immaculate. I think Mayor Bibb saw that paycheck the Commanders got. $6 billion?
Yeah.
Like you said, hold on.
And by the way, they're in a very similar stadium situation to the Browns.
Right.
They don't have a newer stadium. Theirs is about as old as ours.
So you mean to tell me when these guys cash out, they getting
billions?
They getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times what they put in.
Six is old money now. It's more than that.
Well, I think we looked up at the time. I think Snyder purchased the Redskins for at or below $1 billion.
Yep.
Okay, now I'm not sure. I'd have to look this up. I'm imagining that the metro area in D.C. kicked in some money for the FedEx Stadium.
Yep.
So does that mean that when Snyder gets that $6 billion check, he's going to reimburse the city for the money that they gave him for the stadium, which changed hands too? No, it doesn't work that way.
No, he's just like, thanks, I appreciate it.
if I'm Mayor Bibb, here's what I say. How much you want? $500 million? Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to give you $500 million, and upon sale of the franchise, or 10 years, whichever comes first, you pay it back at 10% interest.
Woo.
Give that money back. Why are
10%
we?
interest. Woo.
I think it's one of the great hoodwinks of the 20th century that fans of teams and cities, many of the residents who are not fans of those teams, have been hoodwinked into paying so billionaires can build new houses that when they sell the franchise, they get to cash in on again.
It's just you're right. We've been tricked into believing, and here's the biggest trick. So Mayor Bibb, I like the fact that he pulled out his Trump card too and said, well, listen, they already removed the team once. You can't do it again.
And you know what? He's got the upper hand.
You can't move it, so you could just be mad.
Not only can he move it, the league would never allow it to happen.
Never approve it. So here's the thing. Like, he just said, well, nah, bro, we're going to be businessmen about this. And Jay, what do you think about this? Maybe the Haslams already had ideas that they wanted the stadium to be somewhere anyway. They were always willing to finance it.
That's the end game. In my view, when I started saying I'm just going to spitball out loud, I think this now gives them the political capital.
There it is.
And cover to say, look, we really wanted to be downtown, but the mayor said he's not going to give us free money.
You see that look he had in his eye? We really wanted to. Like, that's that look.
Yeah, we wanted to do it, but I guess we're just going to have to go to Independence, damn it.
So if they did, say they did use public funding, would that be a tax credit for those people or something like that?
I'm not sure how it would work from a municipality standpoint. The way I've always understood, some of these deals are done differently. Typically what happens is the city, sometimes they even get a check from the state. The Guardians got a check from the state.
Yeah.
They ask for monies to run the stadium, to operate the stadium, and to keep the stadium up to date, up to code, and make sure that it's snuffed with all the other 31 stadiums across the league, or 30, 29, however many there are.
Yeah.
The interesting thing to me here is I do believe that Jimmy Haslam writing the couple $100 million check to become a minority owner in a team in Milwaukee. I'm wondering, I'd love for Mayor Bibb to talk about it. You have an invitation to come on this show and talk anytime you want.
Oh, yeah.
We've had you in studio. We would love to have you as a guest. If someone's watching this and has access to the mayor and they want to shoot out a call to him, and you want to call us right now, we would love to talk to you about this. I would like to know what his thought process was on how he got there. Like you, I think we're crazy if the Milwaukee buy didn't play into this.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you, what do y'all think makes downtown more attractive? A big megaplex stadium that can have all these events, or new restaurants, new businesses, new houses?
Yes.
Which one?
Yes.
All of the above.
Both. So it's hard.
Would they lose? Okay, so
here's the hammer that Haslam's holding, okay? I'm the centerpiece to what you want to do down there.
So if I move, would that affect everybody else down business?
Of course it would.
Okay.
Now, on the other side, you have to look at it like this, and I think Mayor Bibb will. That's only 8 days a year.
I got
9 days a year.
I got 80 for the Guardians. I got another 40 for the Cavs. And if the Cavs get good, here's his thing. His hope is, well, we got two teams that are very successful, more successful than the Browns, that have been traditionally.
And look at it this way. They're kind of landlocked down there. One of the pieces of land that they would love to be able to do something with is Burke Lakefront, located about 200 yards behind my back right now. It sits there, and we know this because the gym faces Burke and the wall of windows, and as we're working out all day, I see a lack of activity at the airport. Most days, I never see a plane take off or land.
I've been here a year.
It's about to take off in a minute, actually. We was up there looking at it today.
I mean, I'm not going to say that they don't use it, but it's rarely, if ever, used, and it's mostly used by extremely wealthy people.
Yeah.
So you know when it's used? When the DNC or the RNC convention was in town, when the World Series and NBA playoffs are here, and all the celebrities that want to be seen fly into Burke. And it's convenient for them, and I get that. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, whenever they do decide to be nice and give us one of the events, all of the rock stars fly in to Burke. And they're lined up like, planes coming into LaGuardia. However, on 360 days a year, you rarely see any activity there. So one of the things that I know the city would like to do would be to develop that, to put residential and commercial and a draw to the city. The big thing they need is the land bridge. They've got to have a connective walking area so you don't have to walk over or under 90. Yeah. That's the big, it's landlocked right now. Well, if by chance they do decide to punt the Haslams and move, that would then give the city that piece of land to do something with, and that's a centerpiece of downtown.
If they did move, would they tear down the stadium?
Well, why would you keep it?
You would have to.
I mean, at that point, why would you keep it? There's no other team that you can put in there to play. It doesn't make sense. Now, if you want to turn it into some sort of outdoor concert music venue, that's a possible. I don't know how much of that structure could survive as they still rearrange it to be that. I don't know. I have no idea what they would do with it and what would become of it. But I think what we have here is a good old-fashioned political stare-down between Mayor Bibb and Jimmy Haslam.
And I believe that he went back and Mayor Bibb has a city council that he got to deal with. He got people. It ain't just his word. He can go back and they say, look, we ain't got the votes for this. We just don't have it.
And could you blame anybody on the council or Mayor Bibb if they said, we've got a finite number of dollars? And we have a lot of issues that need addressed in Cleveland. Yeah. For one, crime is skyrocketing. Auto theft in Cleveland, the numbers, we just put these up on Channel 3 either yesterday or the day before. Auto theft is up like 60%. Violent crime is up.
It's hot outside.
Everything is up. Our police force is woefully undermanned. Woefully. Everybody's quit. And the new classes that are coming through it's stunning to me, just in the 5 years that I've been here, to see how small those classes have gotten down to now it's like a gathering of friends and family.
I'll tell you what, Jay, I'm over at the Halley building downtown, right? And I've been working at that radio station 12 years. My car has been broken into in broad daylight.
No kidding.
Broad daylight. I chased the dude across the street. Chased him across. He broke, and all for what? Like some change?
Yeah, what are you getting?
Change. I'm like, bro, I gotta replace his window. So when I look at it, now I'm spending $12, $13, $14 just to park my car in a parking garage.
So it's safe.
For 3 hours. And you know what? There's sometimes you see a meter there, and there's cops that come into the Halley building and eat at a restaurant there. And I'm like, ain't it crazy that I don't even trust it, the fact that there are cop cars out here being a deterrent for car theft. So I'm just like, you know what? And I don't even care about what the car is. I just don't want to replace a window.
Right.
I would rather just, go across the street, get in my car, and go home.
And G, to that point, so that finite pile of cash that you have, how do you go to your residents that you answer to and say, we don't have money for better schools. We don't have money for better teachers.
Facts.
We don't have money to invest in the greatest resource that any city has, our young people. We don't have resources to make our city safe and secure.
There's no after-school programs. There's no more baseball programs.
It's all been cut.
All social funding.
But what we're going to do is write a couple $100 million check to a billionaire, so when he sells the team, he gets even more money because he's selling a new stadium with it. It's hard to sell that.
Bad look.
And so I think one of two things will happen here. And I've never for a second thought that Haslam wanted to just renovate that stadium. He wants a dome. I've never for a second.
I always thought that was part of the piece that got Deshaun to come, because everybody was like, he wants to play in warm weather and he wants to play with the
I don't
dome.
know that would have been the case, because even if you started construction on a dome stadium today, they're not playing there for 3 years.
3 to 4.
I mean, it takes a long time to build these behemoths.
Yeah.
So I don't know that had anything to do with why Deshaun chose to come here, because he wanted to play in a dome.
Well, 230 million reasons.
That's probably more likely than anything else. But I think what's going to end up happening here is Jimmy's either going to – and here's the other thing. The idea was floated again from the Neotrans blog. Funny how all these things are coming through one guy. the story was planted about a week ago. Well, it looks like the Browns are going to play in Columbus for 3
I
years.
did see that.
And you know how
Do you think for 1 second that was ever a possibility?
I didn't mind that. You
There
know,
was-
on game day, if I
I know
about
you
I
wouldn't
had to
mind it
roll
living in
out
Columbus.
71.
You don't know. There is a cold war between Cleveland and Columbus. It is a
I know there is.
Hey,
Listen to me.
you say the other C word? Whoa.
Gee.
Listen, Columbus?
And you're going to ask 60,000 Cleveland fans.
For them 8 to 9 games that you was just speaking of.
Yeah,
you
traveling
talking
down to
about I can
Columbus.
go right from, oh, man, y'all come on down to my world.
Again, from a very cynical and a longtime media personality here, I'm looking at these planted leaks, and I'm like, he's just getting his word out. He's just fighting the battle in the public. He knew that everybody's gonna be like, what? We're not going to Columbus. So that would put pressure on the city. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to go to Columbus, then we got to build the stadium somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we can continue playing there.
Yep.
And then when it's done, we'll move into our new dig.
So that's actually that's the plan, right?
I think that is the
That's
plan.
exactly
And you
the
know
plan,
what?
yeah.
That's it.
If that's what Haslam wants, it's his team.
He should just say that.
And he wants to pay for all of it.
Yeah.
No,
look.
that's
I'm fine with
if he
that.
paying
Hey,
for
look,
it,
look,
he
look,
can do whatever he
now-
wants.
Now look, he looking around and say, hey, he comes into town. He's like, you know those Cleveland Clinic courts? Hey Dan, how did the financing work for those? Did you get anything
Exactly.
over there? Like he just keep calling around. Gilbert's like, what do you mean Jimmy's on the phone? We haven't talked to him in weeks. And by the way, you knew it was a plant because I didn't even know the Northeast Ohio Transit System had a blog. Who do you?
I didn't either.
When did y'all start dropping articles and opinion pieces?
Breaking huge stories.
Like, come on, stop.
that then later come out to be refuted. So, like, if I'm a media member and I'm writing a story that I'm getting directly from the Browns organization, and let's face it, it had to come from someone inside,
Direct.
and then that same organization months later comes out and publicly refutes it, that's the last time I ever print anything they whisper in my ear.
Yeah, they set you up, bro.
But they just printed the Columbus rumor again.
Yep.
Like, first time, shame on Haslam.
Yeah.
Second time, shame on you. And I don't know that that's what happened. It's pure speculation. I know how media works. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, I apologize. But it just seems like it's all, that there's this public posturing to get this new stadium deal done.
There's so much that go into this.
And I do think that the one thing we can learn from today is that if it's going to happen wherever it happens, it's going to happen out of Haslam's checkbook, and I think that's the way it should happen.
And by the way, I don't be at games like that anyway. It's like if it's like I think he was like, will people get mad? It's almost like floating something out there to see what the temperature is.
Well, that's exactly what they did.
And it's like, okay, will they accept going to Columbus? No, they're not going to Canton. They're not doing none of that. So, okay, maybe they don't got a problem with it. They play it out in Cleveland Stadium or whatever the case may be. If they get good for a couple of years, they'll have some nostalgia. While we got good right at the end. And if you strike lightning, you can go, break ground on somewhere new, and they'll still go to the games.
If they build a beautiful domed stadium and it's in the vicinity of Cleveland like Independence would be.
Oh, they go to the game.
That's Independence is pretty centrally located, easy to get to from the east, easy to get to from the west. I don't think fans would be against that.
People from, we used to Richfield Coliseum.
That's right.
And
we drove up there.
If it's a dome, it'd be packed even in the wintertime when it gets cold in
Every
December.
game, and you would also be able to hold a lot of other events there, which is what that's how you monetize it.
Exactly.
If you're Jimmy Haslam, and that's smart. He's being a smart businessman. But there's a lot going on there. Okay, you have a read.
Yeah, I got to read for us guys real quick to wrap this segment up. I went out to the chat and I wanted to know what their thoughts were on using public funds for renovating the stadium. And whenever we do that through PCC Airfoils. Looking for a job with great career advancements and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio, with all locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up. Plus, get a powerful benefit package, paid time off, and signing bonus. Apply at precast.com/careers to learn more.
What are they saying about it?
So 57% actually agree with us today. No. The funds,
Good.
They're with Bib. They shouldn't use it. 42% are saying go for it, and that's out of about 250 votes.
I'm just stunned that there'd be even 42% that would say, yeah, go ahead, give the rich guy all the money he needs, even though we just bought part of a team in Milwaukee.
Because they love their Browns.
Look, I do too. But, I mean, for crying out loud, he's a billionaire. He doesn't need public handouts.
He got it.
He's not entitled to public handouts.
He's not a public. He ain't entitled to nothing.
Let me ask you guys this. Does the team belong to Cleveland or does it belong to Jimmy Haslam?
Haslam.
That's the sad reality, but here's the way I look at it. The team belongs to us.
And by the way, the league, well, now that's why.
It's not the Haslam Browns.
Yeah, it's the Cleveland Browns. And Haslams know that they can't do anything about that.
No, they're hamstrung. They can't move it.
They can't move. So they knew that moving in. So they have to be mad for a little bit. They'll be mad for a couple of years. We'll be all right.
Yeah.
They got to win some games.
All right. We were going to talk about the Browns, how they packaged some draft picks to move up in the draft. You want to come back to that if there's time later in the show?
Yeah, we'll come back to that if we got some time for it, because we got a lot of Cavs to talk about today. And ESPN's Tim Legler is joining us right now, guys.
He's already on. All right. There he is. Look at that handsome devil. What's up, Legs?
What is up? How's it going?
Man, it's been a long time. I mean, it's been way too long,
brother. Too long.
As a matter of fact.
Way too long.
I got to start this way. Who were the Cavaliers? The team we saw in Game 1 or the team we saw in Game 2?
More like the team that you saw in Game 2. I mean, I'm going by the full season body of work.
Right.
Very impressed with their team this year. Look, they can be a little bit streaky offensively, but they're an elite-level defensive team, and they've got a profile now that they've added a guy that's built for this stage in this moment, in Donovan Mitchell. So I think that this is more like the team that you're going to see going forward, which you saw in Game 2. But look, I said going in, this is a coin toss series. These two teams are pretty even, and it's not going to shock me if this thing goes the distance.
Nice. All right, you're on with G. Bush. He's in the middle. Tyvis Powell, former Buckeye great football player, although he thinks he could play basketball and baseball.
Do anything. I could do it all, Tim.
Tyvis Powell
nothing that I can't do.
So they'll be firing questions at you as well.
Hey, I believe that about myself too, so I understand the mentality. It's okay.
You know, knowing both of you very well, I will tell you this: there's a lot of bleed over between Tim and Ty because you're both supremely confident. That's for sure. Who's going to be the key in the series the rest of the way? Not named Donovan Mitchell, because obviously, that's an easy question. You could say it's Mitchell or Randall. Outside of those guys, who's going to decide this series?
Man, I think it's going to be Darius Garland. Probably, if I had to go option 1A would be Mobley. But I think Darius Garland, because he has the ability to escape situations, right? When you have that kind of live handle and that kind of shooting range, then you're a wild card at all times. So even if Darius Garland goes through stretches where, he's not getting touches or shots, or he's not making shots, he's always going to have that ability to take over a game. He can put together these scoring bursts that are going to be critical in this series, because I think you're going to see more low-scoring games. It's just the way these teams are built. I think it's the way their offenses operate. These are going to be low-scoring games. So if you can get a 10-point burst out of a guy in a 6-minute stretch, it could be all the difference in winning a game. And that means Darius Garland, I think, is the guy that you're going to look at, because there's not a real answer for someone with his level quickness, shooting range, and ball handling ability. At some point, he's going to make himself felt on a given night. That might be enough to win that game. And in a game that's going to be a series that's going to be tight night after night, that could be the difference.
Tim, towards the end of this regular season, we seen Evan Mobley, step on the scene. He was scoring. I mean, he was having 20, 30-point games. And in these playoffs, he's getting 12, 13 points. Is that more who he is, or do you think as these playoffs go against these Knicks that he'll find a way to get that offensive game back?
Yeah, I think that he's a guy that's got upside to be certainly better than that offensively to what he's shown in this series. I also think, look, there's something to be said about young players kind of going through this a little bit. Everything about these games is different than the regular season. The physicality you're going to face, the contact, the bodies, it's all going to be different for Evan Mobley. He has still found ways to make his mark, but we haven't really seen him have that big night. I mean, he's capable of having, a 24 and 15 type of game. So I think that we're all sitting here waiting for that to happen, because the talent is there, the versatility is there. I think it's just, this is going to be a tough physical series. Each possession is going to be magnified, and that shrinks the game. And so the numbers might not be the same. It's more about picking the spots to have an impact, to be a tipping point for your team to win a game. And I think you're going to see that. But I do think at some point in this series, he'll have one of those 20 and 10s and hit some important shots in the fourth quarter.
Tim, I got to admit, man, NBA Live 97. NBA Live 97. You was the guy. You won the NBA shootout, the three-point contest in 96, and I played with the Bullets, and what a squad. George Mirasan at center.
Yeah.
They had Chris Webber, Jawan Howard. Also, Rod Strickland was on that team. And I had legs starting at 3, small forward, coming off screens. I just want to thank you. I won a lot of money in Live 97 because of the
Hey,
Bullets.
listen. This is the truth now. So I've been out of the league for 2000. I retired. So I've been doing this for 23 years. The comments I get on the street, if I run into people, typically are going to be one of a handful of comments. I'm either going to get, the LeBron Jordan question comes up all the time. Somebody will ask you about their favorite team. Somebody will say, hey, man, I love the way you played. I love the way you shot the ball. Somebody will say, hey, man, I love your analysis on ESPN. And then that last one is NBA Live 95, man. You didn't miss a shot at NBA Live 95. So my percentages were so good from the 3 that's like they put my percentages on steroids for some reason in that game. I literally don't miss. It's crazy, man. So I appreciate the love.
He don't miss. He was a cheat code before the cheat code came out.
Yeah, he was the cheat code.
Oh my goodness,
You're right.
man.
Like, do you lose time sleeping, thinking that you were born 25 years too soon?
Oh yeah.
Because I think you and I had this conversation in the past, but you in today's game, my God, it'd be a difference maker.
Man, oh man. Well, listen, Jay. Yeah, I do actually. Unfortunately, thanks for bringing that up. By the way, every time I talk to my therapist and they talk me off the ledge, and then somebody like you will bring it up again. Yeah, listen. If I played today, the way I look at it, I would definitely have a much bigger house. I'm certain of that. I see what guys get paid. It's not even just the fact that guys are getting paid what they are. Like, for instance, a Duncan Robinson that gets $80 million, right? Has a couple really good years in Miami. It's weird. They pay him, and then they decide that he's not good enough to play for him anymore. It's the weirdest thing in the world. But it's not just that, because, look, the guy can really shoot the ball. It's the mentality of the offenses in the league. So there is no such thing as a bad shot.
Right.
I could literally, if I played today, shoot the ball anytime I wanted from anywhere without any repercussion. And that is, I just wonder what that freedom would feel like mentally, that you could pull up on a 1-on-2 fast break and shoot a 28-footer and no one is blinking an eye. That is what I would like to know, what that feels like for these guys that get to take 7, 8, 10, 12 three-pointers on a given night.
Yeah, Tim, you got me fired up.
Yeah, because, well, guess what? Even you being the shooter you were, if you would have done that when you were playing, they probably would have sat your ass on the bench before you knew what happened.
Well, listen, the thing is this. So I always had the green light, right, on any team I played on. But the difference is, one, there was only a few guys, 2 or 3 on your roster that were empowered to take the three-point shot whenever they saw any daylight, right? Now it's pretty much, 12 out of 15 guys can shoot it when they want to. When I played, it was only 2 or 3. But then, so I could shoot it when I wanted. It's just what our eyes perceived as a good shot were totally different. When you ran the break and transition, you were trying to get something close, going to the rim or a short mid-range jumper if you had a 3-on-1. Now, those 2 wings immediately fan out to the corners of the wings to shoot a 3. So it's what we perceive, good shot, bad shot, is what's changed. I never had a coach ever tell me I took a bad shot. It's just that no one thought that any of these shots, most of these shots that guys take now, were good shots. So you didn't even contemplate it.
Tim, I will say that I didn't want to throw this in here. I was looking up something, and they did have a comp for you. His name was J.J. Redick, and I didn't know he made $146 million in his career.
Guys?
You're not getting a Christmas card.
Really bad connection. I'm going to have to go. I really appreciate the time, though.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to send G. Bush a Christmas card this year.
I will say this, though, Legs. First of all, I didn't know. I tell Jay all the time, I said, I didn't know Donovan Mitchell was that good. I had no clue. Like, he came here, and of course I watch basketball. Of course I watch the games, and I'm thinking he might come and get us 25 and take a lot of shots. But, man, he got here, and I said, this dude is a monster. He's athletic. I didn't know his step-back game was like that. He could shoot off the move. He could get to the rack. We knew he could dunk on people and do all those kind of things, but I didn't know he was the leader that he was, because after game one, he pulled Darius Garland inside and said, don't wait on me. You get yours while you can. We'll figure the rest out. And I think that projected them and propelled them to game two. And I don't know how they're going to do it in game three, but I think he'll be ready to go back home game three as well.
Well, listen, you're right about him. He has a lot of big stage experience in Utah. That's a playoff-tested team. They went through it every single year in the West. He was the guy that always had the spotlight on him. He never ran from the moment. He's a guy that you bring up his step-back game, and what's interesting is until you get to see him every night and you're a fan of the team, because, you know, when he's playing in Utah, yeah, you're going to catch him a couple of times, and maybe you watch him some in the playoff. When you're watching him every night, the thing that jumps out is his ability to not only separate but also elevate in like tight boxes with people in his face separates him on his ability to get off a jump shot pretty much anytime he wants to. There are not a lot of guys in the league that can say that. Like, guys have the handle and they got the separation, but they don't have that last component, which is the spring off the floor to go up above guys that are longer than him and still get off quality looks. So when you add that with the fact that he just isn't fazed by the moment or the pressure or the game or the situation, yeah, you got a special player, and I think he's shown everybody in Cleveland what he's capable of. And now, look, he's going to have moments. Ultimately, it's going to be in his hands. And there's going to be fourth quarter game-defining, a.k.a. series-defining moments coming your way in the next 10 days, and he's going to have the ball in most of those.
Legs, let me ask you about Isaac Okoro. I mean, obviously he's been struggling offensively ever since he's come back. Really had an up and down season. Towards before he got hurt, seemed like his offensive game was getting actually better. Now that we're in the playoffs, how long does JB give him before he pulls the plug on him and takes him out of the rotation?
That's a great question. And look, that's the toughest part for coaches when you get to this time of the year, because there's guys that you've played and you've trusted to a certain extent, but now, you know, that trust starts to evaporate a little bit because you just can't ride someone too long, because these games are so tight and it's so important how momentum can shift so quickly. These are the big buttons that you got to push as a head coach. Like, some of them are on autopilot. Like, you're going to ride with Mitchell and Mobley and Garland. He's got, no matter what they do, no matter what the shooting slump looks like, it doesn't matter. But then when you get to that secondary part of the rotation, now you might have 5 guys and only 3 of them are going to get minutes on a given night. And that's what makes a coach's job so difficult. So, look, I think that they like his athletic ability. They like his activity. They like his energy. But, man, it would sure help if you could put the ball in the basket, too. Coaches seem to really admire your energy a lot more when the ball goes in at the end.
Yeah, that's the end game. You got to be able to score. And particularly, it's funny how once you get in the playoffs and that rotation, everything is it's like under a magnifying glass, and 3 minutes sometimes can feel like an entire quarter, and that leash gets short. It's going to be really interesting to see how JB handles the Okoro situation the rest of the series. Before we move off the Cavs series, what is Madison Square Garden going to be like tonight? For those that have never been there, particularly been there for a big game, what are the Cavs in for?
You know, here's the thing. In person, it used to be the pinnacle. I think now there are other arenas that replicate it. I mean, what goes on in Milwaukee is just, you know, it's insane. Golden State has been riding that now for a number of years. Memphis can get like that. So there are other venues that it feels the same when you're in it. For me, what's different about it is, and I think I'll ride this until, you know, my last day on the air. Madison Square Garden visually and the energy you're getting when you're watching on television is different than any other building in the league, maybe in professional sports. It just permeates right through the TV set, and you feel that. It's going to be wild. Look, this team has been built over a period now of several years, right? And Brunson was the key piece. He solidified the point guard position, and he's so far surpassed what anybody thought he could be as a pro. And they've now got an all-star caliber point guard every single night. So they now have this team, right? That's not just a team they're thinking about, hey, that's great. It's great we got in or we got into the play-in. No, they want to go ahead and they want to get through this round. They then want to go on, and they believe that they can play with any of those top three who are considered the big boys in the Eastern Conference in the next round, because their style of play dictates close games. So they think their moment is here. The city senses it. I did a radio interview there yesterday, and it's obvious how hyped they are for these next two games. Because, look, if Cleveland gets a split, right, they now back in control of the series. And the Knicks know that. So they're going to come out and they're going to try to hit them hard. There's going to be an adrenaline rush in the first half of this game that Cleveland has to withstand. If they can keep it tight in the fourth quarter, all of that pressure in a Northeast Corridor city, Philly,
Yep.
Boston, D.C., it shifts to the home team.
That's so
if
true.
it's a tight game in a defining moment, all of the pressure then is felt in the left arms of Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and R.J. Barrett. And that's what the Cavs have to do. Just withstand that gut punch, stay in the game, stay within striking distance, 6 minutes to go, one possession game. Then that's when you have a propensity for the home teams in the cities I just mentioned to tighten up significantly.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
And New York teams typically, for the championships that they've won, not talking about the Knicks, but the Yankees, the Giants, they have a tough time winning at home in playoff games. And hell, the Knicks this year have a better road record than they do home record.
That's crazy.
Which is bizarre. I don't know what it is about the Northeast, why they're so hard on their teams, but
You said something that was really key, and this is in playoffs in general. Legs. It's like it astonishes me the way that teams play the pick and roll. Like, there's so many different matchups. Like the way Brooklyn is playing New York, they're just completely just blitzing Embiid and telling, hey, look, you're not going to get the ball. Philly, excuse me,
Yeah.
Philly. They're just completely just making him get the ball up. When you look at this series and the way that they're covering the pick and roll, I think that they were a little more physical on Brunson, and I thought also they were more physical on the offensive end of the court because they ran. It just seemed like they just kept running picks at him all game, and when you get run at and your legs are gone and you got to work over those picks, it just seems like it slowed them down offensively a little bit. In general, in the playoffs, how big is the pick and roll when it comes to playoff basketball?
Yeah, look, and it's changed a lot because when I was playing, and I think even up to probably maybe 10, 12 years ago, teams had 6, 7, 8 different coverages on pick and roll, and you didn't run the same coverage all night. It seems like that's what teams have gotten away from. Whatever they come up with in the pregame and the game plan, they're going to go with it. And more often than not, it's going to involve a whole lot of switching. And to me, I see too many teams switch in a situation that isn't advantageous to them defensively. And it makes no sense because the screen might be 30, 35 feet from the basket. Unless you're Steph Curry, and even then, and Damian Lillard, you're not really going to pull that too often. So there's no need to be switching a ball screen at 35 feet from the basket when that guard is literally hand-picking who he wants to play against. But I see teams do it over and over and over. It's an enormous part of the game. It's either ball screen or dribble handoff. I mean, that's what you're going to see virtually every possession in the NBA. You're going to see at least one ball screen or one dribble handoff. Most possessions you're going to see multiple. And I think because it's so prevalent, teams have gotten away from multiple coverages because they think it's happening too often. We're going to confuse guys. So let's just go with this coverage, drop coverage, switch coverage, fight over the top and hedge. We're going to do that every time. And there's no real changes throughout the game. And that's why really, really good guards, when they start to get a feel for it, this is how it's going to be all night, you're in for a long night when guys get it going because they know it's not going to be a whole lot different coming their way.
Hey, Legs, I want to ask you about a guy we're familiar with. Mike Brown's done a terrific job this year in Sacramento. Talk a little bit about what he's been able to do there and how much of that is directly pinned to him.
Yeah, I've known Mike a long time. In fact, Mike was an assistant coach just starting out cutting his teeth when I was in Washington at the end of my time in Washington, so late 90s. That's how long I've known Mike. He's just a smart guy. He's a great communicator. He has a great way of instilling confidence. He really works well with younger players. So there's no revelation that he's smart and that he did a great job. I think what they have figured out there is De'Aaron Fox, first of all, has now become an all-star caliber talent, right? So you didn't know coming out, was that going to happen? He's there now. He's on that level. Every night he is capable of being the best player on the floor. Then you add a guy like Sabonis, right? So Sabonis is in that category with a Donovan Mitchell and a Jalen Brunson with impact this year with their first full year with a new team. He's right there because his work ethic, his tenacity, his toughness, what he does in the weight room, what he does with his off-season conditioning, these guys have all been able to see it up close and personal. It sets the tone for your entire franchise. So that was a big addition. But then it's these other pieces, all of them coming from other places, whether you're Harrison Barnes or Kevin Huerter or Malik Monk, right? Whoever, Trey Lyles, whoever you are, this has been now this incredible opportunity to reinvent yourself and pound the gavel about who you are as a player. So you got a bunch of guys with chips on their shoulders that didn't feel like maybe they were appreciated where they were before. And when you can galvanize a locker room with that kind of mentality, us against the world, everybody in here's got something to prove. Even Mike Brown, who was fired, as a Lakers coach, everybody's got something to prove. And you add the talent of a De'Aaron Fox and a Domantas Sabonis. Now you have this. And then one last component. I want to make sure this is important. They took advantage of a huge a void this year in the West with guys being out. Their top guys going into the last week of the season, their top 6 scorers had missed 17 games total combined.
Oh, wow.
So it shows you something, right? If you show up every night and lace them up and actually play with your best players, you can do something in this league because very few teams are doing that.
Interesting. Before we let you go, is it wise to call LeBron James old?
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch Game 3. I can't wait to watch every game in that series now.
I'm locked in.
But is that a smart move?
Take the over.
Everybody wants to talk about that. I don't think LeBron James is going to get sidetracked and make this about him and Dillon Brooks because, to me, he'd be doing himself an incredible disservice.
I agree.
Russell Westbrook got caught up in that a few years ago. Russell Westbrook was Oklahoma City, and he got wrapped up in this battle with Ricky Rubio for some reason because Rubio had a big game 1, had like 20 points. Next, everybody's talking to Westbrook about it. Next thing you know, he comes out, he's picking up Rubio 94 feet. He committed 4 fouls in the first half of a game. He completely got himself, wild between the ears. LeBron's not going to do that. He's too even-keeled. He's not going to come down to Dillon Brooks' level. But what he will do is make sure that everybody understands at the end of this game, LeBron James is the best player on the floor. He's the most dominant player on the floor. And that might not mean getting 35 or 40 like Dillon Brooks talked about. Maybe that's 25, 14, 12 boards, control the game, control the pace, make everybody better. His responsibilities are different. Like if Dillon Brooks said that to Kobe Bryant, Kobe's trying to go for 60. When you say it to LeBron James, he's got too many responsibilities for the other guys on his team to get wrapped up in a duel with Dillon Brooks. So I'm fascinated to watch it. I will say this last thing. You call a guy old that's still capable of being the best player every night, to me, that's actually complimenting him. Who wouldn't like to be the best at something when they're the oldest guy doing it? I think that's a compliment, actually, to LeBron James.
Yeah, careful tugging on Superman's cape. Before I let you go, I've asked you this question a couple times during our friendship. I'll ask it to you one more time. I take you to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse right now, and I give you 100 three-point shots. How many are you making?
I'll be very disappointed if I make less than 70.
That's why I love them. Right there.
I agree.
I'd be disappointed. You know what? Hey, if I ended up with 68, you know what the first thing I would say? Let's go. Rack them up. Let's run it back.
By the way, Legs, that's the same thing I ask Jay all the time. He got a basket in his basement. That's just crazy. And he's like, yeah, I thought I was doing something. I got a 90. He's like, no, the record's 200.
That's right. That's right.
Rapid fire, baby. Rapid fire. Legs, you're the best.
That's it.
Appreciate you.
Thanks,
We'll see you
Legs.
soon, man.
Guys.
See you soon.
Enjoyed it. Take care.
And listen, I wouldn't bet against him. I think he could. I think he could hit 70 right
He
now.
can hit 70. I could definitely hit 68.
He is. Oh, by the way, I'll talk to you about that. You guys about that later. But by the way, he's one of my favorite of all time. He's one of my favorite.
Don't you think he'd make a great coach?
Man,
Yeah.
I think he'd make
his
a
knowledge,
great coach.
his knowledge and the way he explained how the game is coming. A
And
lot
his
of kids.
communication skills, like, let's face it, Mike Brown's a great communicator.
Yeah.
It's really crazy what Mike Brown has done.
Yeah, it is.
He's won Coach of the Year 14 years apart with 2 different teams.
Unanimous,
Impossible.
too.
It's really,
Impossible.
it's highly unlikely.
I think he's the first coach of the year in Kings franchise history.
I
think they
wouldn't
said.
doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
I could have sworn. I thought Rick Adelman would have won it a couple years when he was rolling with Chris Webber and them.
I don't know. We'd have to look back on
I
that.
swear, I
but
thought when I watched the game last night, I swear they said
it's really
that.
it's impressive. But I think Legs is a great communicator, and he and I have had conversations about, I think he would like to coach at some point. He's actually a new father.
Oh,
That's
really?
crazy.
He's got a 16-month-old.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I don't feel bad about my life. I'm 41. I got a couple months to go, some years to go.
Yeah, you're okay.
Legs
You're
is-
okay.
You starting at 41?
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, listen,
Man.
That's the new 31.
Yeah, so listen.
I hear what you're saying.
Legs is probably close to my age, and he's certainly in his 50s.
The lieutenant got literally maybe 1 or 2 years out of me, and to figure that out. And if it don't happen,
you got
it's a
another
wrap.
you got another one in you though.
I don't.
Yeah,
I'm good.
what you mean?
I'm
You got
good.
another
2
one in-
girls. If you guarantee me the third one's a boy, we can go for
But
it.
you-
If you
Yeah.
can't guarantee me,
You don't want to be that 3-time girl dad?
No.
3 all-time girl dad lead.
Nope.
They gonna get you. You gonna find somebody
I
just
read
like
once,
you.
and I don't know if this is a fact, but I read once that the more athletic you are, the more likely you are to have girls.
Listen, well, I need to strip
Well, if
down
that's
some
the
of my
case, then we really
athleticism.
don't need to. We need to cut it
Straight
out.
like, right.
We
I
need
don't
to
even
just
know if
cut it
that's
out.
true, but I did read it was either a study.
Well, somebody's told me that if you have 2 girls, the chances of your third one being a boy is very slim to none.
You do. Now, listen, you do know you can go.
You can go get your eggs pulled and you can cheat it.
You can cheat. You got the bag. Go ahead and
Yeah.
Speaking of the bag,
Set it up.
Speaking of the
Yeah.
bag, Anthony, talk
We
about
got
how
the
they
bag,
just
too.
lost the bag.
I actually don't have a read right this second, but we do have some quick breaking news from the NFL to see if you want to take tag
Ain't no
board.
quick,
Ian
this is
Rappaport.
big.
NFL suspends 5 players, including Lions wide receiver Jameis Williams, for violation of NFL gambling policy. Lions C.J. Moore and Quentin Cephas, plus Commanders Tony, are suspended indefinitely for 1 year, and then Williams and Detroit's Stanley Berryhill are suspended for 6 games for gambling.
And
Now,
I think that this is going to be the new norm, guys.
Yeah,
I think
because
this is going to be
with
common.
with it being legalized and sports betting being legalized, it's more accessible on your phone, and you think you could be slick and try to hide it through your girl or somebody else doing it. They figure that out and figure out that it's you. But the thing that's getting me is that it's always been 1 year. I'm interested in how the other 2 got 6 games.
I wonder if it's because now more than ever the league is partnered with gambling entities.
But they still gave out years to. It's 5 of them. 3 of
Do
them
you
got
think
a
it
year.
has to do with the amount that they bet? I haven't read the article yet.
Yeah,
check.
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know what the deal is. But I think that because it's going to be so common,
That they're gonna have
they
to-
can't go. They can't be suspending 25 guys for a year.
I mean,
That's half a team.
I mean, are they? My question is, are they refreshing these seminars? Are they bringing people in, telling them like, look, let me talk to y'all real quick. Just because you see FanDuel, DraftKings, all that stuff, they not talking about y'all. You can't do that. Like that's.
Yeah.
Are they refreshing these?
I would hope so.
because this.
I mean, when you walk into every Major League Baseball clubhouse, their anti-gambling policy is posted everywhere.
ain't that crazy, Jay? It's like
That's baseball's cardinal sin.
it's a contradictory. It's a walking contradictory.
Yeah.
Like it's like, hey, we know it's bad, but we are making billions. They're
Yeah.
like, we just catching the money. We raking it into the coffers.
I wonder at some point if we're not going to see a lawsuit from a player that gets suspended. And here's why I say that. I know they're a private business. They can do what they want. But the league, to your point, is taking hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising revenue from something that they're prohibiting their players from participating in. Now I know it's all in. I understand why you have to trust the product.
Yeah.
Right.
And if the thought is, well, we're not betting on football. Well, if you suffer huge losses betting on basketball, There's one quick and easy way to make sure you get all that money back, and that's by betting on a game that you can control.
So are they not allowed to bet on any sport?
I believe it's any
so
sport.
when I played, it was
any
any sport. You can't
Yeah.
bet on any sport.
And the reason
it's because
Forces count?
Yes, because the reason is, so for example, if I play football, but my best friend is Kevin Durant, like I still can talk to Kevin Durant and he'll
Right.
be like, yeah, such and such ain't feeling
And
well today.
I also think the other part of that too is like the scenario that I gave. Let's say you just bet baseball or bet basketball, and you're on a real losing streak, and these guys aren't betting $500. You're $60, $70, $100,000 in the hole. Well, the one way you can control how you make that back, particularly if you play a position of importance, basketball, you're LeBron James, you just decide you're going to be 2 for 20 tonight.
that ain't happening.
And
That's
so
crazy.
no, but with one
That's
by
crazy.
throwing one game.
That ain't
Yeah.
happening.
And so what the public has to be reassured of constantly, and it's more important now than ever, is that what they're watching is true and real.
Do you think this is a possibility? If I'm always looking for an angle. I'm like this. Well, look, we can't participate in it, but here's what I would have as a lawyer. I'd ask him, I say, look, we can't really bet. We don't do all the fantasy stuff, but what we really want is we would like to have a cut of all of that. Like as a player, we can't bet on it, but we are contributing to it. So
Well, now I wonder, are they already? Because a lot of these collective bargaining agreements say that they get a percentage of the revenue. So the revenue would be included in that, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Or why couldn't, can they play fantasy football?
I don't know. Tyvis?
No, anything with money involved, no.
Can you
can't.
tell
So
them,
if there's a buy-in league, you can't
Cannot.
participate.
So-
But a friendly league, you can.
Yeah.
but can you tell them as a player, if you're a player, say, look, if I'm not going to get nothing for fantasy football, ESPN, I don't want to, you can't draft me.
Well, I think the league's counter to that is you are getting something of that. That goes into our total coffer, and you get 51% of our total revenue.
You see how they be doing it? They
telling
good.
you.
You
They
see how they be
good.
doing
Wink
it?
and a nudge.
You is getting something,
Well,
dog.
now look, I don't know that that's actually what they're saying, but
But that was it convinced me.
Look, the rise of the league, the meteoric rise, it was already popular. The meteoric rise of the league over the last 20 years is directly tied to fantasy football.
Jiminy
In
Christmas.
all likelihood, once sports betting is legal in all 50 or however many are going to eventually make it legal,
50.
it's going to continue to contribute to the popularity of the sport.
It
You
does.
got $50 riding on a game, you're glued to the set.
That's true.
You're more likely to watch a game
Yes.
if you have a bet on it.
Yes, that is, and I've never played fantasy football until the first time. I was like, you know what? Let me get in one of these leagues. It was. I wouldn't even say.
Then you start watching 8 games a week.
9, 10 games.
I used to watch 1 game a week.
That's it.
Mine,
My
the Browns.
team.
That was it. Then I'm in fantasy.
Really?
Yeah. Then I'm
Oh,
in
yeah,
fantasy
well,
football. I got to watch my 4 o'clock guys. Then I got to watch my 8 o'clock guys.
Yeah.
Then I got to watch Monday Night Football.
And then you get to a point where you feel like if you didn't watch them, they didn't play well. I said, yo, you know what?
like their
you watch.
performance is hinged on whether or not you're rooting for them.
Let me check in. I ain't
you
check
mean?
in with my boys.
I've swallowed that pill before.
When dad is in the stands, you go play a little bit harder. They said it's just like I'm watching.
Yeah, but they
it's
don't
like,
know that I have them.
I
on the team.
need Austin Eckler to get
And then-
15 points tonight. If I'm watching it, the chances of him getting them 15 points increase. It's just what it is.
But you know what you do then? You live and die, particularly if he's the only guy going in the matchup,
Yeah.
and it's the Monday night game, and you know exactly what he needs.
That's the one
You're
there.
watching like this every play. Why'd you give it to Eckler? He was wide
I
open.
swear that's the truth.
They get down to the goal line. You got to give it to Eckler here. You got to give it to Eckler here.
Listen, last year I had Najee Harris. Going into the game, he needed 10 points. You know how many points he got?
9.9.
11. I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
it was the worst day of my life.
Yeah,
I was sitting there towards the end of
every
the game
single play.
like,
It's like that's why I don't know that I'm going to continue doing fantasy football because it does steal
it does.
15 hours a week of mine that I ordinarily wouldn't give up.
And then you got these conflicting interests. So say for instance, if I have the Browns, okay, so I want the Browns to win, but I got Nick Chubb, so that's even more. I want him to get the ball. But then if I'm playing, I've already drafted Deontay Johnson, and I'm like, well, I'm going to start him this game because at least if they lose and Deontay Johnson catch the football, I at least have a silver lining,
What's
and I ain't
worse
that
to
mad.
that I call them silver lining games. The Browns are playing the Bengals, and Joe Burrow's your quarterback.
Right.
Like the silver lining is, well, at least Burrow had 450 yards. The Browns lost, and that sucks. But my team won.
My team won. And listen, I'm in first place.
And it's hard to root against. You're like, I don't want to root for Joe Burrow, but he's my guy. I need him in fantasy, but I can't.
It's hard to root against Joe Burrow. You got to pick somebody else.
We got business to do. Top of the hour.
Yeah, guys, so it is the 12 o'clock lunch hour, and it's brought to you by Colleague Racing, the official NASCAR team of Northeast Ohio. And we also have a word from our hosts about memberships. Are you ready to play that, Steve?
Attention, all Cleveland sports fans.
Are you tired of missing out on exclusive content and behind-the-scenes conversations?
The Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show has got you covered.
For less than $2 a month, you can become a Starters tier member. You get custom emojis and badges that other people don't have.
Or upgrade to the big-time coaches tier. For less than $5 a month, you get all the exclusive overtime content, things that those other suckers are not getting. Don't miss out on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show experience.
Man, I will tell you this. This is crazy. I want to know what they bet on.
I want to know what they bet
on their team?
Because, Calvin
No,
Ridley
I
did
doubt it. No. I'd be a hell of a lot more. Well, Pete Rose didn't even bet on his own team.
Right.
He
He's
bet on
done for life.
Didn't he bet on himself?
They said these guys.
He never bet on Reds games.
Yeah.
Or no, he never bet for the Reds to lose.
Right. He never bet on team to lose.
So there was no evidence that he ever threw a game. And then the critics will say, well, if you're his bookie and he bet 5 games in a week, all for the Reds to win, what do you think's going to happen on those 2 games where he didn't bet on his own team?
Right. Like, if he didn't just place a bet, that means he wasn't that confident.
He doesn't like that starting pitcher. That might be a smart play. I think it's ridiculous that Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I really do. I think that's a
a
joke.
A lot of people would
I
say
mean,
that.
if you give me evidence that he threw games, that he actually put a shortstop into pitch.
Yeah, that's
like
the
if you
shortstop
ever
in
watch
the
Pete
pitch.
Rose compete, you know that man would win over anything else. That was all he was about.
Yeah.
I don't think any competitor, like if you play team sports, any competitor would bet on his team to lose.
Or throw a game. Like
Well,
intentionally perform poorly.
That's so crazy.
That's not the case because when I was at OSU, it was a guy who came in.
Hey, hold on, you got a scandal? Like,
What? No. Listen,
hold on. I
listen,
say it's time is breaking.
Yeah.
See,
Hold
y'all
on.
problem is
What you say?
y'all problem is y'all jump to conclusions.
Irvin
Y'all-
came in the
y'all
locker room and said, we're not feeling it today, guys, are we?
Hey, that's bro. You know that. You know
Y'all ain't
that
let me
happened. You know what
finish.
kind of story that would be.
Can I finish telling the
No,
story?
we got our own story now.
My goodness.
We already got our narrative.
What
It
I
works
was
for
going to
us.
say is when I was at OSU, it was
Okay.
a guy that came in. He used to work for the Italian mob back in the
Okay.
day.
Yeah,
And
Johnny
he would-
Walnuts.
I think that maybe. I don't know. I don't know what
I
his
just
name
made
was.
that up.
Anyway,
It's Tony Kneecaps.
whatever. Anyways, he was saying that how he had an influence on like professional players because obviously they was gambling through him, and if they got bad with debt or something like this, he would tell them, okay, this is what you're gonna do. When you get that ball, you play wide receiver, you catch the first 2 times that ball come to you, that ball's just gonna hit the ground. Or if you play running back, you're gonna fumble the ball at least 1 time a game. So that was just like, man.
That's why they don't want guys betting
I
on
was
other
like,
sports.
man, that's how they used to do it. So that's
Yeah,
how they
that's how you can
influence
control
it.
a game.
Yeah.
That story was way less entertaining and volatile.
Because
than
y'all
the
thought
one
I know.
y'all thought I was gonna say something about
We were
us.
hoping you would say, I had a teammate,
I
he may or
said,
may not have been
what?
a kicker
'Cause y'all-
that missed a kick on purpose.
I said, bro, we should have been getting the book out here. You doing this let a person know. We thought you had something, bro.
No, I wasn't. No, we didn't do that. That's
Okay.
it. We
All
wouldn't
right,
do that.
There it is. Tyvis.
They would.
I'll tell you guys what I'd bet on, though. I got
What?
2 things I'm betting on today.
What's that?
One, Built Bar is still the best protein bar on the market right now. Use code LOCKEDON15 at Built.com. Get those gains. And I'm betting on that we're going to have an amazing post-game show for this Cavs Game 3 tonight with me, G. Bush, and Earl.
Oh, look at that crew.
We're good luck charm. That's the first time the 3 of us have run together on a show, and we
How
won.
do we? Oh, game 2?
Game 2.
Yeah.
Game
Oh,
2.
you're right then.
It was the first time the 3 of us were together.
Yeah.
We won. So you got to check us out tonight after
So
the game.
wait, is
when we take
McNuggets
first
going to
game.
be on the show?
Nuggets will be back Sunday. He's flying
Okay.
back from Dallas tonight.
Why you got the McNugget on the graphic?
Because all 4 of us are doing all the post games, and I didn't feel like making extra graphics. So.
Man, put
That's
him
called
on the
working
spot.
smarter, not harder.
Put him on the
You're right.
And how much? You eating them Built Bars, man? How much can you bench right now, Anthony?
I'm still up to 140, and I've lost about 15 pounds?
You know, I've definitely seen a body transformation going on with you. I see you in the gym, bro. I see him in there doing the work.
COVID
what
knocked
are you
me on the butt,
benching right
but
now,
I'm back
Jay?
to it.
I never bench max. I rep 155 60 times.
I ain't even gonna ask you because do you still live? You do.
No, come on, G Bush will throw up 245,
You be
225,
you be surprised.
45
I
times.
threw up 245 last week.
Here's the thing. I'm not lifting no weights. I'm not lifting no weights. And second of all,
Are you a resistance band?
No, he's
guy?
doing cardio.
I'll do cardio. That's all I'm gonna do.
You don't want to crank no
Oh, but
weights?
listen, I gotta. So I just did this. Well, I just did this endorsement with this Align Health place.
Yeah.
So I go to physical therapy now.
Really?
That's
To
nice.
shot-
Is
like,
it for your neck?
Yeah, So I go to physical therapy 3 times a week, and what's really cool about these Align Health people is they take X-rays of your spine, and they'll in red they'll show you where your spine is.
How is your spine?
Oh,
right
my
now?
spine looks terrible.
Do you have scoliosis? Like, is it all over the place?
Well,
What?
I don't have. So my spine is straight. So
Must be nice because mine is reverse arcing.
so they can fix that.
Yeah.
They take.
So you know how your spine's supposed to be like this? Mine go back.
They put you in these machines. They put you in these machines.
Stretch you
and-
out?
Oh my gosh, they got all kind of different things. Like I got 3.
That sounds painful.
It's weird. It's like having
weird.
It's weird. It's like saying it's like putting braces, like teeth braces on your back, right? So my neck is tilting forward. Like my neck tilts forward, so they have to slowly but surely straighten it. So I go to physical therapy. I go in there. It's awesome because there's a lot of different people in there that have back pain. And they're like, man, I hear you on the radio and I hear you and watch you and you say back pain. And so I started doing this. And I was like, well, me too. Yeah, shout out to Align Health. It's
Very
crazy.
cool. Very, very nice.
Well, tell 'em
Where
to
we
get
go? You
with
said
me.
we got to do something
We'll bring you
else.
So we got a Cavs Game 3 preview that we put together. I know we kind of talked a lot about it with legs, but we built headlines.
Pre-written headlines.
Yeah, so Steve, if we want to go to those headlines numbers, let me get that for you real quick. We're going to start with Tyvis. Tyvis, this is your headline. Go ahead.
Silent night, holy night.
Look at the tear. Look at the tear on Spike Lee.
Listen, Donovan Mitchell going crazy tonight. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. It's a homecoming for him. Y'all know how he feels about the Knicks. It's the Garden. He gonna need to have a game to let everybody know that the Garden is not what y'all think it is. He needs to keep the Cavaliers calm and get them to come with him. So big game to him. I'm thinking nothing less than 35. Anything under 35, I'd be disappointed from him. And yeah, Spike Lee gonna cry. You know how he do. He be on the sideline. He gonna be disappointed. He gonna be sitting there throwing his hands up like somebody do something with Donovan. It's just my prediction for tonight. Even though I don't agree with the fact that they about to fly out soon. I don't like that.
They flying out today.
Yeah, I ain't like that.
They just flew out. They didn't get there yesterday?
That's what I thought too. Well, maybe I'm wrong though.
We're pretty sure we were looking at the plane outside
That's what
our
I'm.
office
That's what I'm
window
saying.
and getting on it
I swear they was
at
just
like 10
getting
o'clock
on.
this morning.
Yeah.
No, that can't be.
I said the
that
same
can't be.
thing.
No, they would
Because
have
all
had.
I
pure
said
speculation.
I said I was gonna switch my pick if that was.
Yeah,
them.
no, they're not flying out same day of the game.
Oh,
no way they're doing
listen,
that.
that's some
No,
more.
they-
That's what I said.
that's a
I
mobile-
said the same
Why
thing.
did you think you were looking at the Cavs plane?
I don't know.
It was an Earl guess, but it was just a Delta airline flight out at there. Yeah, Earl, you want to?
So, Jay, I just kind of looked at it like this. That's a private airport. I mean, we usually see private planes, and you see a huge Delta commercial airline. So I just called myself trying to put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
That's a mobile.
It would be the first
Let's
time.
hope it's not right.
It would be the first time that I could ever remember that an NBA team flew out game
I
day.
said
That's
the
to
same
playoff.
thing.
That's a
Yeah,
mobile.
I
Tyvis
said
said if that's the case, they're gonna lose.
They gonna lose.
That's a
I'm
mo-
telling
that's a
you right now.
That's some old Rocky River, Avon Lake, Slippery Rock stuff.
That's
That
some
ain't-
we ain't got no money in
Yeah,
the
like-
budget
Yeah, that ain't- no.
to stay at a hotel.
Because you would have shoot around at the Garden
Yeah,
today.
and I thought I just saw Karis LeVert at shoot around in the Garden.
You probably did.
I thought I saw that.
We're probably wrong, G, but we're going to speculate.
I love Earl, but I think that's probably
Don't
all.
do that to me. You know I'm on medication. I'll be like, what day is it?
That's our bad.
Don't do that to me. You ever wake up? Have you ever worked a lot, Jay, so much that you wake up that you thought you missed something?
Oh, all the time. Or you're not sure what day it is.
And you be like,
I ain't never did that now.
you got.
Well,
It's the Jesus. You be like, did I just miss everything?
the worst is where you take a nap at around 4 or 5 o'clock and you wake up around 7 and you can't tell if it's dusk
Midnight
or dawn.
Yeah, oh yeah,
So
exactly.
I done woke up when I was like in school. I thought I was late. I done put my whole uniform together and was about to walk out the door, and I was like, wait a minute, my mom is here. What's she doing here? She's usually gone. I was like, it's 7 p.m.
Yeah, the morning workouts listen, actually, I got to go to football players should go, athletes should go to like counselors.
You should.
It's traumatizing. Like, that's trauma.
It
You
is.
shouldn't- Like, when they make you get up and go to morning workouts and you be so scared that you done miss morning workouts, that you're a 41-year-old man, that you still reoccurring nightmares.
I swear.
That
Yeah.
when you wake up, like,
I wake up numerous times throughout the night checking the clock because I'm thinking I'm late.
It's the biggest.
I can't help it.
The biggest fear that you have stays with you forever.
Yeah.
Mine is I slept through a test.
Did you really?
No, I never did it. Well, that's my biggest fear.
See, no, the
So I'm
difference
a
is-
grown-ass 57-year-old. I'm like waking up in a cold sweat. I missed my test.
Well, see, mine's came because my first year at Ohio State, I'll never forget. I enrolled early, so it's January. We start mat drills on Wednesday. 5:55, they blowing the horn. First mat drills, my phone, I had a Droid. My phone cut off in the middle of the night, so my alarm never went off.
So you missed your first
So I
workout.
missed my first workout. They came knocking at my
oh,
door.
that
That
didn't happen.
Brought me in there, and they said, you know what? Coach Mick, the strip coach, like, don't worry about it. You got Dawn Patrol this weekend. So you got to be here at 6 a.m.
Dawn
It's like,
Patrol.
all right. So it's Dawn Patrol. So Dawn Patrol, you got to come in at 6 a.m. I had to do it for Friday and Saturday, and we called them Jesus walks. You had to get on the Stairmaster, and they make you hold a stick over your head like this, and you had to run on the Stairmaster for 30 minutes.
The last time you ever missed anything.
Hey, I've been paranoid ever since.
Did you ever have to do the duck walks?
No, I did.
Or push the towel?
Yeah, push
Pushing
the
the towel
Yeah.
is the most. You get on the baseline in the gym, and you got to get the towel right here.
And you gotta slide-
and you got to slide it across the floor, bear crawling.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most.
Yeah.
Bro.
I tell you, I've been paranoid ever since.
My abs
I
hurt
wake
just
up every
thinking about
time.
that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
got your
Listen to my
headline
headline.
next.
Get to my headline.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
what's your
we'll
headline,
take it
G?
real quick. Do you remember what you sent?
I don't.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, yep, this is what I had.
Oh, okay, so a close one.
Cavs bring the fight, but Knicks get the dub. Big shots land. Shots land late. Knicks go up 2-1. I said it the other day. People might get mad. It is what it is. I got the Knicks coming out. I think it'll be a closer game, but I think the Knicks will play desperate. I think they'll hit a couple big shots late in the game that'll kind of like. I think the Cavs will actually be up. I think the Cavs will be up.
So they're
going
gonna
into
blow the
fourth
lead
quarter.
then?
Blow is kind of hard in the playoffs. I think they'll be up 3-4. That's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Brunson hits a couple of shots. I think R.J. Barrett will hit a couple of shots, which he shouldn't be hitting no shots, and they'll win. But I do got the Cavs winning Game 4, and that's
Okay.
the only thing they need to do is come back and get the split.
Yeah, their mission in New York was to do exactly what New York did in Cleveland.
Yeah, get that
if
one.
If you get the split, you come back with home court.
Yeah.
I'm really torn, guys. I picked the Knicks in 7.
Did you really?
I did. I picked the Knicks in 7.
You jumped ship too, didn't you?
No. I said it was. I said.
Well, he's allowed to. He's
I'm
Duke
Duke knee-jerk.
But he did. After Game 1, he came in.
That's
and
what
said,
I'm saying.
"Yeah,
That's so
if
what?
we did, no, he
Headlines
changed his
for
pick after
every
Game
single
1.
game they play.
Yeah.
So
Gee,
where are
pick a
you
different team
currently?
every headline.
Where are you currently?
Well, they won last game. I still got them losing this game.
But you got them winning the series.
I got
now
them winning the
because-
series. Now.
So you
so he
never
flipped
thought that they
twice.
would lose the series?
No,
You just-
yes,
oh, no,
after
no,
Game
yes.
1
After
loss,
Game 1, it was
he
a
came
wrap.
in here and said, yeah, I'm flipping my pick.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Ty, that's what he's supposed to do. Is a Duke knee-jerk.
No, you're not.
I hope he flips 5 times in the series.
You're supposed to. You either on. It's a line in the sand. You
No.
either with us or against
No.
us.
Well,
Flat
he's
out.
with now.
It ain't no Switzerland on this
yeah,
thing.
it is. You switch up all the time.
I know.
Like,
I know.
like when your wife hits you with like, where you want to go eat, and you be like, wherever you want to go. She changed it 5 times.
Sure.
That's the Duchess of knee jerk. Like,
But the key word, you said your wife, dude, not you.
oh no, you swear. Here's the thing.
I know.
Watch this.
It's a man's prerogative to change his mind
No,
too.
If you went, this is the thing. If you went into me and Tyvis got the same fetish, right? We can't get over the shoes.
Yeah.
If we went to Jordan Warehouse, if Brett OG said, you know what, Michael Jordan been watching y'all. He said we're gonna invite y'all up to the Nike Town. You know, saying you're gonna get any J's you want. The only problem is you could only get 20 pair.
Oh, the Dior ones would be the first one I picked because I flipped them for millions.
But here's the thing. Hold on. But he said you could get 20 pair. Now 20 pair is a lot of pair, right?
It is, but I really only like to wear the ones that Mike wore. Don't take these on my feet today.
He's gonna go and he's gonna see joints that have never been released.
And he's going to change his mind.
And it's gonna change his whole perspective.
I get 20 picks.
But listen, 20 picks ain't enough, bro.
I got you know how many shoes I got now?
You know how many all NBA players there are? They only pick like 15 of them, right?
Yeah, you got to narrow it down.
You got to narrow it down. Them all NBA picks. If you get up in there, you like.
I think I'll be okay, G. I think I can handle 20 picks.
I'll be in there all.
If you would have said one, then that's totally
I'll be
different.
in there all night looking around.
And no, it wouldn't because I just told you I picked the Dior ones
and then I would offer him a discounted price for the 20 to 30 because I want 10 more.
You got to know that he's got the right to change his mind. He's been married and divorced and engaged and
all that.
Like it just, you literally are the Duke of knee-jerk.
On the day of the wedding, I'm up there.
That part gets me every time.
I'm up there, and he said, for better or worse. He was like, for better or worse. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a wrap.
You called it up. Did you call it up at the altar?
No, in my head, I should have.
No, you know what he did? This is one of the greatest stories ever. Planned it, paid for it,
and
got close and said, no, this ain't happening. Everybody went home, money wasted. Year later, he's like, yeah, babe, let's get married. And he did it.
And I did it. And so,
what is the matter with you?
But I had to pay.
Duke of knee-jerk.
I had to pay.
Clearly.
It was a destination wedding, and so what ended up happening is I paid for all these people's flights.
So you ended up.
I paid for because I felt bad. They had
you
took time
ended.
off.
Wait a minute.
They had everything.
Right.
Like that, it was like people like my friends that was older that was already working. They said, G. Bush, you don't understand right now. That was such the biggest party foul in the world. We love you to death, but you don't understand how bad that is. People take work off. Like in advance, like they have
That's
tuxedos.
why people go through with marriages that they know the day of.
Wait a minute,
right.
Gee, let me get this right. You set the wed up and decided to call it off, but still married the same woman a year later.
Yeah. Like it was crazy.
So a year made a difference?
No, they still got divorced.
They still got divorced. It was crazy. Like
I'm about to walk off the set.
Tyvis, were you not at like a company lunch where we heard all this?
Listen, this is the perfect. This is what's going on with this series. Flip flop, flip flop.
It's close. It's close. Like look. Like and the thing, and we postponed the wedding.
No, and that was we was talking about the 90-day fiance thing, and he did give us a whole 2-hour lecture. He could have summed up in 2 minutes. That was the thing.
Let the story go. They're
wildly entertaining.
Let it breathe. Wildly entertaining.
And we got the divorce over like something petty. It was like we was passing out invitations. Like we was going to give invitations to my mom. The wedding's in like a couple of weeks. And we was down there, and she said something. I was like, "This ain't gonna work." You know, as a matter of fact, you know what? Matter of fact, we're not gonna do this. You can't tell me that. I'm not doing that.
So all that to say, back to the Cavs and Knicks. You do got the Cavs.
I got the Cavs winning.
In how many games?
7.
Cavs to 7.
So that means he can change his mind 4 more times.
Yes. If they get blown out tonight, and I picked them to win.
I gotta watch the show.
I picked them to win the series.
I gotta watch the show one day to see where he at.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
You watch our post-game show tonight.
If they get blown out in Game 3, first thing I'm gonna ask them on Monday is, "So how you feeling?" "Oh no, I'm Knicks are gonna win this
We got
thing."
2 Cavs games before Monday's night game.
Yeah, you're right.
We got post-game show tonight and Sunday night.
That's right.
Check the Cavs post game.
All right,
Hopefully,
check it out.
If nothing else, if I'm gonna be wrong, I'm gonna at least be consistent.
Yes, he will say
So
that.
why do you say Knicks in 7 though?
Well, for a couple of things. Number one, they won the regular season series 3-1.
Okay, that don't. But everybody says that the regular season has nothing to do with the postseason.
Well,
we ain't
it
seen
has
that.
something to do with postseason.
Well, I mean, seeding.
You can either decide that it has a lot to do with it or a little to do with it, but it has something to do with it. The other thing is the Knicks have a better road record than they do at home. But here's the caveat that I'll throw in there. Madison Square Garden, I've been there for playoff games. I've been there for regular season games. Tim Legler was not kidding. There is just something different about it. It's called the Mecca. They don't call it the Mecca for nothing.
It's something
and those
different.
fans have been years without a drink.
Yeah.
And tonight,
Thirsty.
there's a big party and a lot of booze.
But they made the playoff. They've been in the playoffs. Didn't they go last year?
Yeah, they
2 years ago.
No, they lost.
2 years ago.
They
lost to the Hawks.
lost to the Hawks. I think
2
they
years
won
ago.
one. Did they win one in that series?
They lost 4-1.
No, it was 3-1.
No.
Yeah, no, 4-1.
I
Yeah,
thought
4-1.
I thought it went 7.
Maybe it did.
And I think
Well,
Trae Young.
here's the thing. They haven't won a series.
So let me get this right. The Hawks, you think the Hawks could go in there and win it, but the Cavs can't?
Well,
Well, it's a different team.
we
It
don't,
ain't that much of a difference.
Brunson's, listen, Legler's right. I think he's the most underrated player in the NBA.
The most underrated player in the NBA is Giannis Antetokounmpo because y'all won't agree that he's the best player to ever play this game.
it.
So therefore,
Stop
he's
it.
underrated. Label him underrated until you call him the greatest.
I'll say all jokes aside, the reason why that people are apprehensive is because there's no book on the Cavs. Like, we don't know. Every time we see the Cavs do something this postseason, it's the first time.
Well, this is their, speaking of that, their Game 2 win was the first time in 25 years that they won a playoff game without LeBron.
we didn't know. And we didn't know
the
Darius
first time
Garland.
we've been in the playoffs without LeBron in 25 years too.
So we didn't know Darius Garland was capable of coming out and hit 32.
So why did he did. So why still keep rolling with the Knicks?
Because now it's the first time we've seen you on the road.
I
That's different.
asked Legs the very first question: who are the Cavs? The Game 1 team or the Game 2?
And what did
team?
he say?
Game 2. And I believe that he's right. But I believe for this particular game, I cannot come up with a scenario where the Knicks lose at home.
Really?
I can't. I think that building
Even
is
Donovan
going,
Mitchell going crazy.
I don't know that that's the best avenue for the Cavaliers to win.
It ain't, but it's going to happen until DG step up and provide some assistance.
But I think a 40-point night for Donovan equals a loss for the Cavs. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the way they win.
You know what? I hope they blow them out. When they do, I'm a FaceTime. I ain't even gonna call you. I'm a FaceTime.
Listen, FaceTime me. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do win, but my
is
headline
sad.
is Garden Party.
Y'all, you know what?
Thirsty fans inspire Knicks.
And the fact that they got Cleveland, that's disgusting. I don't know if that's pure or disgusting to drink somebody's tears.
Now, for starters, that was not my idea. That was Anthony.
No, that was 100% my creative freedom.
Yeah.
That was 100%.
That was Anthony.
Yeah, that's kind of the.
I just wanted to throw the thirsty part in there because their fans are
I don't
thirsty.
I don't know, man. I tell you what. I just, for some odd reason, I feel like the Cavs will win this game. Now, I can see them losing game 4, but I can see them winning game 3.
You touched on this, I think, and I'm not going to I'm not going to talk myself into sticking with my pick.
Right.
Because I am an optimist. I want the Cavs to win this thing. I feel much better about their chances after watching what they did in Game 2.
Mm-hmm.
They did, to me, I wasn't here the day after the game. The key for Game 2 wasn't Darius Garland getting involved. It wasn't any of that. It was the fact that they limited the Knicks' second looks.
Mm-hmm.
Period. They killed the Cavs on the offensive boards in Game 1. So it doesn't matter what your shooting percentage is if you're getting 3 shots per possession. The vast majority of the Knicks' possessions were one and done.
Yep.
The vast majority. And when they got an offensive rebound, it was stark. It stood out like, wow, they got 2 shots on that possession. They have to do in Game 3 and everyone moving forward what they did in Game 2. They have to, mission 1, get on the defensive glass.
I will be super impressed. I will be super impressed if the Cavs come out. Because then if you come out and you really come out and you're on the road, your first game on the road, and you take care of business, despite all of the stuff you just said, that's one of the most impressive feats in the world. Because you're a young team, you don't really have a track record. Everything in the world says you should probably lose this game. Like, that means JB got them up to play. That there was really no reason.
Did you guys give JB his flowers after game 2?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I thought I was critical of JB coming into the series and really critical after game 1. I thought the adjustments he made and the coaching that he made
now-
in between games was brilliant.
And now it comes down to what Thibs is going to do. And
You're right.
And he's going to have to. It's going to have to take an in-game adjustment because Thibs got something. He's going to have something.
Well, he's
for
going to
this
make
game.
sure his guys get after the
Exact-
offensive glass.
Exactly. He's going to have something. And now JB's going to have to test his in-game adjustments to
Right.
be able to win this game. And
That's where I think he's a little shaky.
well, we
I
gonna
like
find-
what he did.
I tell you
when
what,
he had
last
48
year,
hours to prepare for it.
last year in the play-ins, his in-game adjustments was terrible.
Poor.
So,
Poor.
it's a learning
So
experience.
he's got to be
learning
better at
experience.
that. So my hope is I'm wrong. I would love to see the Cavs win one of the two, but here's my big fear, guys. If they lose both of these and come home down 3-1, you know what 3-1 is.
The 3
You
I
know-
said, yeah, I remember. Look, last 3-1. Last time I remember 3-1. They said right there.
Yeah. And you know
3-1.
what?
Come
It's
on,
so
you see that?
uncommon
Look
they
at
made a
that. That's
T-shirt about it.
That's what 3-1 mean to me.
Well, it also, to me now, it also means Cubs over Indians.
Oh my gosh, you talking two different sports.
Nah, it's 3-1.
It's just
still
as
three.
difficult to come back 3-1 in baseball.
Be on my side for once.
No.
Still 3.
Go sit it there, Earl and Anthony.
Yeah,
they
what's
got a
the-
headline.
Yeah, so we got headlines, but real quick before we get to our headlines, I want to remind you guys that the 12 o'clock lunch hour of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is brought to you by Colleague Racing, the official NASCAR team of Northeast Ohio, and Earl will have your race report ready to go later on in the show.
Nice.
Steve, let's go ahead and take my headline here. I think Darius Garland's the key, so I'm going with Garland over the Garland. Darius is
I
going
like
to drop
that.
40 points on the road and prove to everybody that he can lead this team.
Boy, he looked great in
He
game
dropped
2,
he
man.
dropped 40 piece. We ain't losing. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's gonna be a long
They
night
gotta
for
find
the
a
Knicks
way to
if he
win
does.
if he dropped 40, because that means he has arrived and he's truly an NBA superstar.
Yeah.
40 in the guard? Oh, he's a star.
Like there's only a couple ways you come back from 3-1, and one of them is that you got to get not only one 40-point game, but you need 2. The Cavs back then didn't win because they, game 7. And listen, that was won in game 5 when LeBron and Kyrie had 40 apiece.
Right.
That's hard as heck to do
What you mean he just did it?
in the playoffs.
No. I'm talking about, wasn't it a pair of Cavs that just did that same thing?
No,
Was
Not
it?
in the same game.
no.
Yes, it was. It was this season.
Did they have somebody that
I was getting Earl's rehearsal.
It was
Actually,
two
he's
40
right.
points. It's two.
He's right.
I
So-
think it was Mitchell and Garland might have
Again,
scored 40
No.
apiece.
It was Karis LeVert and
Oh.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
right.
about
It
to
was
say,
LeVert.
what is you talking about?
It's
Man,
very
y'all ain't Cavs fans,
Listen,
man. Y'all don't know. Y'all ain't paying attention to
Tyvis,
the
you know how
Cavs
rare
this
that
year.
is?
Tyvis, I have the memory of
That's
a
not the
goldfish.
point. That's not the point. Y'all don't remember. How do y'all not remember something iconic like that? That happened
Iconic
this season.
Where's the T-shirt for that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We don't have a T-shirt for that, but we do have a headline for Earl.
Right.
Earl, you want to read your
Where's the
headline
T-shirt
here?
of that?
And if you come in with one, I'm kicking your ass out.
You got that made.
Oh, I didn't get it.
I was there the night LeVert
Listen,
and
Cleveland
Mitchell combined
Tea
for 80.
Company, get on it, man. 40-40, 41-41.
Knicks caught in a web. Spider
All right, so this is my
drops
headline. Knicks caught in the web. Spider drops 40 in the Garden. Anthony got the right score, wrong player.
I see what you did there.
Oh.
Ain't that creative?
It's very creative.
What was your headline again? You got to win it, right?
No, they take an L.
What is so we 3-2 split, man.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
I think if they're going to win one of these two, it's going to be 4. I think there's
It's a lot
no
of
chance they
it's a
walk
lot
in the
of
Garden tonight.
it's a lot of adrenaline tonight.
Then that's why I
lot of
think
adrenaline.
there is a slim to none
you tend
chance
to
that the
play-
Cavs walk into the Garden tonight with that place an absolute powder keg, and they come out with the
If they
W.
do that, if they do that, they're a bad team.
Jay,
They bad. They
are.
They super cold if they come in and do that.
And then you're looking at Cavs in 5 because the Garden is going to be flat for Game 4.
And then
This is what I'll say. After the Cavs win, everybody that's watching this show, y'all get on Twitter and y'all tweet at J Crawford CLE.
He don't listen to that.
I'll never see it.
And y'all make sure y'all spam him until he look at his messages. They gonna blow up tonight.
Jay's last mention.
And you know what? I'm gonna make sure he see him because I'm gonna FaceTime him, share my screen, and just go through all what people are saying about him. So y'all,
Hey,
Listen,
after the Cavs win tonight,
I hope that happens, even though I won't see it.
you gonna see it?
I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Trust me, I'll be rooting my guts out tonight.
Cavs gonna win double-digit win.
I have to call them like I see them.
Double-digit
win.
Double-digit win.
And by the way, if they do win this first series, then you switch. See, here's how it works, man. Every series is different. So in this series, if I say they was going, I say they going, it's going to go 7. It's tight. Now next series it ain't gonna be like that. Next series I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
You know why? I know the Cavs.
Oh, we're beating the Bucks.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why the Cavs is gonna win. Because there was a difference between 1 and 2. The biggest difference is that in Game 1, the Cavs never quit. The Knicks quit in Game 2. They got quit in them.
Well, they were down 22.
They quit.
Yeah, they were down 22.
Okay, they ain't no.
The Cavs were never down 22
You
in
ain't
Game
no
1.
winning organization.
Why would you quit in Game 1 down 3?
You ain't no winning organization if you quit in games.
With 2 minutes left.
I ain't quitting them.
They was up.
I would never just fold my cards.
Well, I mean, gosh, there's levels to this.
Oh, please.
When you're down 9, if you quit, that's unforgivable. When you're down 22, and by the way, I was stunned that
the Cavs was down.
Tibbs had his big guys still in the game with 2 minutes to go.
Because Tibbs don't quit.
And damn near got Randall hurt.
Hey, look, that's why Tibbs
don't. They ain't got the Tibbs culture in them.
Hey, listen.
They ain't got that yet.
Let's be clear.
Tibbs probably cussed them out when they got in that locker room.
Let's be clear.
He probably did.
Listen, Tibbs
threw basketballs at him and all kinds of stuff.
Let's not act like Tibbs is a Greg Popovich, bro. He's not.
Nah, he ain't like that at all.
We're not gonna give him no nickname like he up there like he Don Nelson or something. Tibbs, listen, Tibbs. We're not. We're not giving you that. You listen. That's what the reason. Tibbs also was in Minnesota. Bye. Remember that?
They couldn't handle it.
No, and Jimmy Butler was like, "Give me the hell out of here,"
because he couldn't handle it.
Let's be clear. Like, I like the Knicks. I like what they got. But somebody said it. I don't know. You said it. Somebody was like, Jalen Brunson's a nice ball player.
Dude, Jalen Brunson is way better than I thought he was.
He is. But
he's gone into New York.
He got y'all fooled.
But
he doesn't. He's done it for a full season.
He got y'all fooled. He ain't gonna show up in this series.
Okay, I hope you're right.
Would you take I wouldn't take Brunson.
He was there in Game 1.
It's all about Garland. If Garland,
it is about Garland.
If Garland want to get 40, like the note say,
he get 40, they win it. I'm gonna just tell you
because that means Mitchell got 28.
All right, what's next? What's next? You want to do the Browns?
Do you guys want to do Browns?
Yeah.
Guardians, and we got top 5 left today. We can't do all 3. So what do we want to do?
You just challenged us. We'll start with the Browns. Here's the deal.
Let me do this real quick.
You were all pissed off this morning on the call. Yeah, thanks to Tyvis, because you got the answer to us, and G. Bush and Jay, you guys suck. Well, when you ask a question that can't be answered, you don't get an answer.
He asked the question. What are you talking about?
It can't be answered.
How could it not be answered?
What's the question?
Let me read it. Hold on. Let me read it.
Hey, before you read that, Tyvis, I just want to remind everybody that this segment right here is going to be brought to you by the USFL. This Sunday, April 23rd, the USFL is back in Canton. Come celebrate pro football with free T-shirts, rally towels, all for the whole family. Great seats starting at just $10. Buy your tickets today at USFL.com.
$10. I mean, that's a buy.
The question is, what?
Look, he's
right.
He saw it.
He knows I'm right now.
Let me read it.
Read the question.
It says, what pick specifically should the Browns trade up for / who should they take at that pick? Send me and Earl's picks separately so we can make stat graphs.
Okay, so that question, here's what I heard. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a lollipop?
Why is it that I understood?
Little Kim,
you know what it is?
It's
an age.
Okay,
thing.
so let's see your answer so we can see that you clearly got it right. That's like asking McShay or Mel Kiper, who are the Browns going to take at 46?
No, he said.
And by the way,
what he's saying is, who is likely?
Bro,
do your research.
They are 3 rounds in. They have picked 74.
All right, if you roll the graphics.
So now, here's the thing. I'll make this plea right now. Pledge, if you answer this question correctly,
Okay.
and the Browns do what you suggest,
Okay.
Lord.
I give you my boat for the summer.
Yep.
All right, y'all hear that, crew? Everybody heard
So
that.
now here's what this
Live
entails.
on
Yes.
The show.
You got to put the 4th round pick, the 5th round pick, and the 6th round pick to move up to number 32
And
to
then
grab this player.
And then
No.
the
you
team,
get that right, you have my vote.
No,
and he
I'm
still
picking.
has to get the
I'm
team.
picking. No.
He has to get the
Right.
team he's
I'm
trading
not.
to.
No. I didn't trade up. My picks is all 3rd round picks.
No, that wasn't the question.
That was the
question.
pick.
That
Y'all
wasn't
gotta
the
cut
question.
this out, man.
That wasn't the question.
I
Read
gotta
the
cut
question
this
again.
out.
Read that again.
Let me. The question again for people: what picks specifically should the Browns trade up for? Who should they take at that pick?
Okay, so you got to package picks together.
That's fine. If you all right,
You're
take
going to package a bunch of picks together for a 3rd round pick?
two.
And then those picks,
Yeah.
you gotta pick which team that you gotta get ahead of to get the guy that's still left on the
Yeah,
board.
I mean, it's an unanswerable question.
Y'all sick.
What are you going to do, though?
This is what happened.
You answered it, so what's your answer?
I said this.
We did make the stat graphics for you, Tyvis, because
I can't wait to
you're the only
see
one that
this.
sent us that. Do you want to start with
Make sure you
your
save
first
it
player?
because
I
he
can
gets
throw
my
him up.
vote for the summer. if it's right.
whole summer.
Dang it.
All right, we'll take the first player.
I mean, it's obvious. I picked 3 linebackers who they should go after. Obviously, Jack Campbell is a guy who's going to be their 2nd or 3rd round. Don't look at him like that. He's a tackling machine. His instincts is unbelievable.
like him.
Yeah, so why are you looking
Because
like
he ain't never gonna be where
ain't
you
gonna
at.
last.
He is going to be there.
He's off the
He's
board.
off the board.
Are y'all sick in the head?
He's a good player.
He's smart.
He's not the top linebacker in the draft.
Well, you would, of course, you wouldn't put the top linebacker.
My
in
point
there.
exactly. So he's got a chance to be there.
3rd
What
round.
would you say the chances are? What do I get when you're wrong?
You right.
What do you want?
Use of your vehicle for the summer.
He would like.
I mean, let's make it a fair swap.
I want to get in this. I want to claim one of your 2 children on my taxes. That's way more lucrative.
I'm about to
than-
say that's way more lucrative. Anyways, listen, I'm not about to buy into your children's games, okay? Jack Campbell, like I said, he might be their 2nd or early 3rd round. The Browns could trade up those. They could package those 2 3rd round picks and move up in the late 2nd round to get him. They could definitely do that. It's a possibility.
So they're going to give 2/3
for a 2nd.
to go up to a 2nd, and that's who they're going to take.
Yeah.
What team are
hope
they
you like-
trading with? Because we got to know where they at.
Kansas City.
Okay.
Nuts, bro.
This is crazy.
Kansas City.
Hey,
now you know it'd be really crazy if it happened.
if it happens,
Like I said, it's
I'd be like,
unanswerable.
I would come back to this show and say, I told y'all
Bro,
before the Browns watched
no,
this show.
I'm gonna give you $1 to invest for me every single
Yeah,
day.
next pick.
whatever you want.
My next pick, next linebacker, that could be potentially a Cleveland Brown. Ivan Pace Jr. This kid right here was a great tackling machine. PFF, he graded off the charts. He's in Cincinnati right now. It'd be an easy transition for him to come right up to Cleveland and play linebacker. He's a little undersized, but obviously we know
What
how
happened to the other half of his jersey?
he likes Zeke. You know, Zeke probably one of his favorite players.
It's like he's up to here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he,
you know,
he
guys,
had a sports bra on.
guy was a great player for the Cincinnati. And on top of that, Cincinnati, a lot of people don't know, Cincinnati players for the past 2 drafts have done well.
Luke got him ready.
Exactly, has done well in the NFL, like made rosters and like been key
Hey,
contributors.
all they need.
Well, Ford is from Cincinnati.
Yeah,
He
Jerome
is,
Ford,
isn't he? Yeah.
Like I've been trying to listen.
Sauce Gardner, DPO,
Yes.
rookie
Listen,
DPO.
Luke's done a great job.
He put that fence around Cincinnati. Now look, man.
Now he going to Wisconsin.
Hey, listen, we ain't gonna talk about
and the
this.
Buckeyes got to go to Wisconsin. Go ahead.
And the Buckeyes need to get in that transfer portal and find them a quarterback. Get in that.
That's another. That's
Can you
that's
get on
a
that
segment.
for us, kid?
That's a
What
segment
happened? Ain't you supposed to be getting it? Hey, go offer one of these cats something. I know you got the. Hey, listen, get them some deals. Get these boys. in. Go find us a quarterback.
I am
bro.
becoming the guy, like the money bag guy. You see, I carry my bag.
Yeah. You
Money
can't.
bag
I mean,
guy.
because this guy.
You see me, you know I'm about to get you some money.
Get you together. But you need to get in. You need to talk to these guys. That guy.
You didn't like Kyle McCord?
No.
Why?
No, I didn't either.
You do know Justin Fields went 4 for 13 in this spring.
Listen, Justin Fields, I could watch Justin Fields in high school, college, Georgia, and always know
you know
he was
Kyle
gonna be
McCord
good.
was a 5-star.
Oh, we don't care
coming
about
out
no
of high
5
school.
stars. What I saw was check down Charlie. You know that.
Hey, so was that kid from Texas that came
Wait a
here.
minute, in a very,
Remember that kid from Texas?
Quinn Ewers?
Yeah, he's a 5-star. He's the greatest. He was the greatest quarterback prospect ever.
He got an NIL deal where he needs to be on the field. He wasn't going to play over CJ, so why would he stay?
Where is he now?
Texas.
How'd he do?
He got hurt last year, but he was about to beat Alabama.
But
he got hurt in the game.
In the Mannings,
they went 8-3 or something like that.
I was not impressed with the Manning kid either.
Arch Manning.
I was not impressed. I didn't see it.
He was third on the depth chart too. Some dude was like that was a third string, jumped him to become the second string. I know.
They gonna
Interesting.
But
he'll be in a transfer portal.
It don't matter. What y'all talking about is irrelevant. Y'all
I just imagine me and Jay doing a podcast just telling people who go to the portal.
There is absolutely nothing that you can take away from a spring game. There's nothing.
No, I know you're right. It's early, but I want to see something.
It's like spring training in baseball. All right. Let me take it to your world.
Okay.
Come see my world like Shamu.
So I heard.
You're so broken right now. I don't even respond to that. You're so
haven't heard.
Tyvis, you got one more player if you want to show up.
Yeah. Who is my last player? I don't even remember who it is.
Which one?
Noah Sowell.
Oh, now I love this kid. He's gone for sure.
No, he's not. Undersized linebacker.
You're going to tell me that he's going to be
third round for sure.
I don't understand why you're
third round pick
if I'm
for
packaging picks.
Are we trying to get
two third rounds and I'm going to go up to the second round? That's it?
Yeah.
No, that's not enough.
I want
second round talent, third round talent. What are you talking about?
No.
Hell, I mean, look at the third round picks that have been superstars. You can find talent in the third round. I mean, you might as well just sit
I didn't say I would move up for him. I said these was all. I was assuming that these was third round picks.
Oh, these are options.
Yeah, but Jack Campbell is you might have to move up.
Yeah,
for him.
Shamu.
Yes.
Hey, even though Bull's not here today, by the way,
y'all?
he is in the chat, and he just said the Duke of Knee Jerk in rare form, judging a quarterback based on a spring game. So he's still getting his shots in.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? Bull, no, man. Y'all.
Listen.
Bull's watching the show.
Bull's been in chat on some of his days off, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he hangs out there
He's
with
developing
everybody.
that chat fan base.
Bull just said bad job out of you, Jay.
By the way,
I wouldn't expect Bull to say anything else.
here's
I'm looking at Bull. Somebody told me I finished my blunt on 4th. I don't even smoke. I never smoked in my life.
Chat gets wilding out, man. You gotta.
Yeah.
I smoke blunts. I've never smoked in my life.
Tyvis said,
Why are you jumping in the chat room?
I'm just so happy to. I was trying to see
high.
what Bull said.
You must be high.
I was trying to see what Bull said.
like Tyvis don't do nothing.
Somebody told me I'm corny. Teach his own.
Hey,
Ty.
look,
A little bit of advice
lower the phone.
here. Little bit of advice here.
I was trying to see what Bull said.
Step out the chat room and back into the real world.
Don't do it to yourself, Tyvis.
Don't do it.
Okay, I see Bulls.
There are those that live their lives in the real world, and then there are those that dwell in chat rooms.
We don't need to show the chat love.
G. Bush does that. That's his role. Know your role.
That's
stay out of that.
job on this show.
You stay out of that. You let him do that.
We're the chatters. Real quick, guys, before we move on to our top 5, I want to remind everybody that our 12 o'clock lunch hour of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is brought to you by Colleague Racing,
boy.
the official
That's
NASCAR
funny.
team of Northeast Ohio. And after our top 5, Earl's going to have a race report ready for you. Tyvis, are you ready for this top 5?
One
I've
thing
been
real
waiting
quick.
for this all
What's
day.
funny is the chat room thinks that G really likes him. It's in his contract. One of us had to have it in our contract. One of y'all got to puff up the chat room.
Hey, the chat coming.
Because somebody's got to show him love. So
You know what
somebody's
it
got to
is?
hate him.
He's the
Somebody's
I'm
gotta
one of
love
you.
him.
the people's
I'm
champ.
one of you,
And
but
it-
you know
look,
what?
I'm
trying
one
to
of
act like
you.
it's not in his
I'm one of
contract.
you.
Man, I'm out here with the people. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Y'all
now.
bought it.
Listen,
Y'all bought it.
listen. I don't mind reading the chat. People are
No,
free.
there's
They're entitled
some
to their
fun
own
people in the
opinion.
chat.
Yeah,
Really.
They're entitled to their
Bull-
own opinion. If y'all
Bull-
got freedom of speech, use it. I
Bull
don't
in there
care.
and
Jay,
indoctrinating
anytime you
people.
call in from wherever fantastic place you're at, they
Yeah.
got nothing but jokes, and it's great.
Oh, I'm just sorry I miss him.
Yeah, no, they're great.
But I just can't. He's
He's
You know,
oblivious to it.
I can't.
Listen, he's oblivious. This dude don't understand. Like, 96% of the time, Jay don't even be understand. He be like, I don't know where y'all at. This confused.
No.
He don't see none of that.
No.
You don't see that.
Now, sometimes, and this happens very rarely, and you guys can back this up, and this is why I don't live in that world. That world is, it's internet muscle. It's like fakeness. In real life, would any of the people that write any of these toxic things on social media go up to the person that they're dragging on social media and say that to their face?
I would.
Come on, Tyvis, you're the nicest guy in the world.
I'm gonna give our chat some credit.
But
it's not that toxic.
But I tell it like it is.
Well, I don't know. I'm really not talking about the chat room right now. I'm talking about social media.
I tell it like it is.
And this is why I can't spend time on social media. Because it's not real. Like, in real life, I just watched a beef between two friends, two people that I know, and I think they're both good dudes. The Ryan Clark, did you see the Ryan Clark?
And Brady Quinn?
A buddy of mine sent me this whole chain between Brady Quinn and Ryan Clark. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a misunderstanding and something was taken out of context, and they were like slamming each other on social media.
It was about C.J. Stroud.
Like, in real life, that doesn't really happen. You don't walk up to somebody I've never had anybody come up to me in real life and say, I hate your show.
Well, you know what?
I hate it.
You know what?
But they'll tell you that on social media.
Well, the thing I don't like about social media is this. I don't beef with people on social media if I got their number. Like, that's the thing with me. So when I see people beef, obviously they don't. Like, for example,
of course, what you should.
Me and Sherm, we cool. If I say something out of line or he says something out of line, I'm not gonna tweet him. Why would I do that? I would literally pick my phone up and call him.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. So when I say what I say on the internet, I would definitely say to somebody. I would still say it to you. If I knew you and I had your number, I would literally tell you.
Well, now I believe you would do that because you're real, you're genuine.
Yeah.
But 95% of it, like the one or two times, and I've been doing this for 35 years, that someone has approached me in public and said, that show you're on is trash, man. Like, I'm sure a lot of people have thought that through the years, but only 2 people have thought that
to come say
strongly enough to tell me when they see me. And then here's my answer to that. When's your show on? I'll check it out. I'll give your show a kick. I'll kick the tires out of your show.
Listen.
Hey, Jay.
What's up, bro?
I just kind of got a talking to by my other boss for this, and I got to stay off the Twitter. People got a tendency to say whatever, and I'm the type of dude, you know me personally.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to make you stand on it.
No.
I'm going to make you get in my face and stand on it. We don't see you that big and bag in person.
Yeah, so
it's easy to disrespect somebody for sitting behind the keyboard.
And
man.
I'm guessing what you did was you shot back on social media and said, meet me outside.
in a nutshell. It was
Catch
like,
me outside.
In a nutshell.
This is a great segue.
Let's link. That's what I say. Let's link.
Earl, not as your boss, as your friend. I'm not your boss. As your friend, though, I will tell you this. You are in a lose-lose situation when you read that stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you read it and you have pride, the inclination is, meet me outside.
No,
tell me to my face.
Send me your location. That's what I say.
Where you at?
Drop your location.
Where you at? Well, here's the thing. You validate them when you do that. Check the follower number on most of the people that take those shots.
Yeah.
It's usually 14.
Well, I'll tell you
So
what.
here's my thing. 14 people are hinging on all of your characters.
Yeah.
They got to know what you're saying. 14 people care what you say. Why should I?
Hey,
I'll tell you what. I got 149 followers on my Twitter account, and I'm about to take it to Tyvis in this top 5. Let's start with number 5 here.
All right,
Tyvis,
these are the top 5 things Tyvis cannot do.
I think he cannot do. And I'll be honest, I think I can do some of these.
Nice.
So we'll go with number 5 here.
One
I think I could do this.
I'm gonna be honest.
I think I could do this. But Tyvis, I don't think you could cook a perfect beef Wellington.
Oh, hey,
damn.
Listen, that's awesome. Matter of fact, I done seen multiple.
What is wrong with him?
Listen, you know how hard it is to cook a beef Wellington?
No, because I don't cook.
Impossible.
I
don't cook, so therefore.
I have a recipe. I haven't tried
the
it yet.
egg
but I
wash.
want to.
The egg wash is too hard to get. You gotta have it the right temperature.
knows it
And
all,
by the
man.
way, Gordon Ramsay gets rid of people on his famous beef Wellington. They got risotto, which is hard to cook. Beef Wellington is hard to cook. Scallops is hard to cook. You got to cook all 3 of those in Kitchen Nightmares, and then if you can get those correct, you might get to go into the next.
He
station.
really is the most interesting man.
He
in the world.
really is.
He has his own cologne.
Yes.
He puts out a calendar.
Yeah.
He designs bathing suits.
Yes.
Put out a calendar.
Calendar's coming. I got.
He
a calendar
knows how to
coming.
What's
cook
on the
beef
calendar?
Wellington.
I bought bathing suits. I got bathing suits that I
Panda.
created.
They're Panda bathing
Bathing
suits.
suits.
Oh, he's got a line of models working for him, bro.
Like so.
He was in here the other day.
Can I buy one, please? Please let me
Yes,
buy one.
get one for wifey.
Oh my
Not
God.
for you, for
No,
wifey.
yeah, I
Hey, the
definitely
other
gonna
day,
buy one.
He was in here talking about oh, yeah, my cologne's about to drop. And we're
It
like,
is.
what?
It
And he
is.
goes, and I'm like, what do you know about it? He goes, oh, man, you got to have the right mix of sandalwood, and you got to have all the. And
You should have just
he
got.
knows
Why didn't you
everything.
invest in Erykah Badu's perfume?
I'm cool on that because that smells like her body. I don't want nothing to smell like somebody's body parts.
One
No.
other quick thing before we go to the number 2 thing Tyvis can't do. The name of your cologne is?
Nocturnal.
Dude, that's
I love
fire.
that.
Nocturnal.
Why?
Fire, actually.
Because I don't sleep.
That's good.
And so,
Next.
I want to try this stuff.
I'm gonna
think I
bring.
could do
Matter of
this
fact,
one,
we're
too.
gonna bring them in tomorrow. Shout out to 62
We ain't gonna be
degrees.
here tomorrow.
Oh y'all. Oh, we'll wait till you come back. When you gonna be back?
Hey,
Nobody's
by the way,
gonna be here tomorrow.
Monday,
First of all,
Monday,
We're taking
I'm
Wednesday.
introducing G. Bush. He is the
Yes,
he
that's
is
dope.
the keynote speaker at a Hall of Fame luncheon. They have luncheons, I think, every month of the year.
Yes.
And this is exciting, obviously, because this has a
And
lot
you're
to do with
introducing
Cleveland.
him?
And I get to introduce the great G. Bush at this luncheon
The
Monday.
man of many
Awesome.
talents is
Awesome,
what you
man.
should
Yeah,
say.
so that's really cool. The number
Yeah,
2
all right,
thing
so number
Tyvis
4,
can't do.
Tyvis,
Four.
I don't think you could paint a
4.
good replica of the Mona Lisa. I took a painting class in college. I think I can do it.
I'm not.
Oh, you painted?
I'm not a painter.
I painted in college. I still got some oil paints left.
Did you ever try a Mona Lisa?
Oh, I almost. No. No, I did not.
So far, he's 2 for 2.
Yeah,
He's
not
2 for
wrong.
2
You
right
can't
now.
do either one of those things.
2 for 2.
All right, number
All right, number
3.
3. This is a Mikey suggestion. You cannot be objective about Giannis.
That
you are
is
too
a
far.
fact. That's
a lie.
You got the Kool-Aid. You cannot do
It's a
it.
lie.
Mikey didn't say that. He said you can. He should have said Tyvis cannot beat Giannis.
You could have said that, but
And that would've won.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
objective with Giannis. When they played, I forgot who they played last year. They played somebody in the playoffs, and it was when they played the Nets the year they won it all. I was mad at him because he wouldn't check Kevin Durant. I said, how you gonna be the best player in the world and the best player on the team, but you won't check their best player?
If the Cavs play the Nets, you got them. You booking it for the Cavs.
I got the Cavs beating the. If they play the Bucks, yeah, I got the Cavs.
All right.
All right, we're
Beat the
against the
best
wire
player in
here,
the
but
world.
number 2,
Oh.
I don't think you can go an entire segment without laughing.
That might be true.
That I think.
that might
I
be
could.
true.
I could sit out there stone face. I don't care.
Because you could. Because
I
you,
think I could.
like-
you know what? One of these episodes, book it. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna just sit
Like,
here and not laugh
way.
at all.
Hey,
I
like,
think I could do it.
but
Don't,
here's
because
the
that's
thing.
why we like you.
I know, but that's the point.
You
though.
could
Like
just
it
say-
wouldn't. I wouldn't be me, and that's the thing.
Yeah, you
You
gotta be
could just
real.
say one word. You'd be like Tyvis. Say the word cheeks.
All right. And then number 1.
Hey, when you
know
got
this,
the best fact, you better
so
use it.
Tyvis
stupid.
cannot play golf.
Well-
Steve, take the tag board.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Take
that-
the tag board. You can't play golf. It's not playing.
what is this, the
Of
what?
course it's not playing. Tag board, come on. All right, well,
this is the-
Steve.
it's-
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
It's the 1 year anniversary
Did
of
you
that
get
coming
that
up
man
soon.
club back,
I
too?
never got him. Bobby said he was gonna buy it because it's Bobby's fault that I had to do this.
Bobby Carpenter.
Bobby Carpenter told me. He said, "Come to the event and just stand there and talk. You don't have to play." And I had to.
Is that the first time you've ever swung at a golf ball in your life?
No, Top Golf was, but on a live course. That was my first time on a course.
You left it all out on the course,
Yes, I did.
including the club.
Speaking of course, what kind of track we on this week at College Racing?
Yeah, where are they this
All right, so
weekend?
real quick, 12 o'clock lunch hour is brought to you by the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Is brought to you by the Colleague Racing, the official NASCAR team of Northeast Ohio. Earl, what's our race report, man?
All right, man. So, Jay, you'll love this one. They pulling up at Talladega Super Speedway
nice.
this weekend. The wild card of wild cards. The race on Saturday is the AG Pro 300. That'll be Saturday, April 22nd at 4 o'clock p.m. The big boy is going to be the Gecko 500. Sunday, April 23rd, 2023. Shout out to everybody at Call It. This race right here is a lot like Daytona. These tracks right here, they are wild cards.
It's the super speedway.
Yeah, anybody can win. You
and-
can start dead last and finish first. You can start
That's
first,
right.
finish last. So
And they always say, watch out for the big one on a track like that. The big
Yeah.
one is a wreck that takes, 12 cars out at once.
minimum.
Yeah, those are very exciting races to watch.
Real quick, too, I also have an honorable mention, Tyvis, that Earl came up with, and I completely forgot to say it. You still haven't played Call of Duty with us, man. What's going on with that?
Y'all haven't sent me an invite.
All right, well,
No, that's
whatever.
not what I said. I said I don't think Tyvis can play Call of Duty.
Oh.
It's not even about playing with me. I think I don't know.
You don't.
That's
You.
your skill.
Oh, you're saying that I'm not good.
I'm saying you're
Those
not
are some
good.
fight-
Oh, I got like 40 Warzone dubs already. What are you talking about?
You gotta let me know it, man.
Please.
Haven't seen it, can't confirm.
I got like the most kills I had in a match was 8 or 16, 17.
You
What
still can't hit my slider.
Oh,
So-
that's gone. You can kiss that goodbye. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sign your ball and say goodbye.
Pause.
And as I Yeah, that did sound kind of crazy.
Yeah, that did.
I'm going to sign the baseball.
Very good.
Say goodbye.
You ain't signing
as I hit it over the thing.
I was like,
Give it
that's
to some
that
kid.
was
Give it to some
very-
kid, and that's
Hey,
as a
you
lucky
challenged
fan.
us. Guardians open up a series this weekend against the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
They're, what are they, 500 now? Or game above 500?
Game
10
above.
and 9.
Yeah, 10 and 9.
They got to get a sweep. They've got to start hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Their home run total is embarrassingly low.
Jose has what, one?
Two. Because he had a big one in their last game, the 3-run shot that ended up being the difference maker after he took a called third strike on a pitch clock violation that was bullshit. Yeah. Okay, we're done. Have a great
We got viewer
weekend.
questions coming up too in overtime.
Post
That's right.
game.
That's right. Viewer questions in overtime. If you're not a member, drop the $4.99. Get you membership access for the month.